What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord link for that's in the description box down below. As we get rolling here tonight, guys, once again, have some Cowboy things to talk about, some other Cowboy adjacent things to talk about, and once again, what the heck are our Cowboys doing? We'll get to that in a second. We have some people to shout out, give the love, the appreciation to as we get things going here tonight. You know very well who it is. Thank you very much to Harley Dad, representing not just as the Cash App King, but also the sponsor of the week. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Harley Dad.
He's on the after dark side of things. So much love and appreciation to him, even though he's a dirty-ass Niner fan.
Boo.
Appreciate his love for the family here at MCF. Appreciate you, Harley Dad. Also, of course, an all-timer here, Jason Renfro, 100 out of 100 points as our stream boss, rocking the top spot there. Much love to him. And the man staying skeptical. He is at the top of the gifting membership board for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, really. So it's a repeat. It's a back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys. But will he hold on to a three-peat? Right now, Jason Renfro has got 3 gifted memberships for the top spot. And if he holds it down till Sunday, he will take over as the king of the gifting membership board. And then when you have the leaders for this week on the Cash App side, it's the same as our overall leader currently right now. Both the same guy, just like Harley Dad. But this guy you've seen and heard before. Harley Dad, a Niner fan, in first place. Look right above there. It's the man, McLovin. In first place on the overall board. Sco971 second, Gloria third, Marissa Sparkle fourth, Jason Riffle fifth. That's pretty much the overall board and the Cash App board top 5. So McLovin on top of both of those. And hey, he may be looking to get a bonus raffle entry. He already won one jersey last month, being a weekly winner. He may be a weekly winner again here. So we'll see what happens on that side of things. Speaking of, what does that mean? All these things I'm talking about. Well, how do you get in these on the boards and maybe in some of these special raffles? Well, there's 4 different ways you can drop the love very simply here through the YouTube side, which is the super chats. There's the thanks button you can give any time a video ended or is done. You can also jump in the membership or gift membership. And right there is a great example of a gifted membership by the man Jason Renfro. Now goes to 4 gifted memberships, and this is the lucky winner is Stephen White. Much love to Stephen White.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you, and
yes.
Perfect timing there as well.
Yeah, so Jason Renfro again stays in.
scripted. Sorry, that was just like perfect timing.
Yeah, he stays in this top spot there, and by the way, he went to 5th place on the board. But now he's back in 4th place.
Yeah, congrats, Stephen White. Drop him if you got him.
Yes, much love to Stephen White. He got it. He got that. But Jason Renfro giving the love, and he's in 4th place on the overall board, 1st place on the gifting board, and as you can see, controlling the overall stream boss right there.
Yes, and then, you were kind of saying it there. There's a few different ways to show the love here on MCF. You saw Jason Renfro, obviously, gifting the membership. You have the super chat, the thanks button, things like that.
And jumping in the membership as well. But then there's 4 other ways you can attack Harley Dad's top spot. McLovin in the lead. How do you attack the Cash App? And it's overall board as well, but it's both boards. How do you do this, baby? There's 4 other ways.
You have, of course, the Cash App, # My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, that Streamlabs link. It lets your comments show up on screen just like a super chat.
That's right. And hey, those are ways to help me out the channel. We also do the nightly shout outs here for those in the top shelf memberships. I'll say that in a minute. I do want to shout out Jason Renfro one more time. Even in the Cash App, even if he's behind in the Cash App, he dropped a $1.26 holler pre-stream with the Go Cowboys. Again, that along with, that got him right next to Marissa Sparkle, and then the gift of membership took him over into that 4th place spot on the overall board. This is a 2-week board, so a lot of love and a lot of people moving up this board quickly. So appreciate Jason Renfro on that side, as well as the people that were hanging out when we were on our After Dark. Which, again, a lot of these things you're seeing, PayPal, Cash App, that's all through the After Dark usually as well. You can do it through here, but that's on the After Dark session. Much love to Motor City Maniac. Yes, even more or less in there. We got Big D. He's up in here sometimes. He was in the After Dark session. Gloria, Daniel Berry Sports Network, Sports Highlights. And then we have our top 2 people that dropped the love last night as well, Sco971 and McLovin. All of this, guys, was, of course, on the After Dark session. So appreciate you guys there. And a lot of, again, like I said, Sco971, Cash App. And you got McLovin in the PayPal. So a lot of different ways to show the love here on this channel or on the After Dark. But there's only a couple ways you can show it when it comes to like giving the thanks button, memberships, super chats. That's just this channel. So a lot of different ways. And again, the nightly shout outs, that goes to the star and over everything level membership. So I appreciate you guys. As you can see, every month we have one of these sewn and stitched jerseys raffled off. Your choice of player, styles, and all that stuff, sizes. But there are a couple ways you can get in this raffle, and has always been a membership special raffle, and it still is, for the people in the star and over everything levels. But now we're also got the weekly winners. So, for example, Harley Dad was last week, and he got an extra bonus raffle entry into that monthly raffle. So, same thing is continuing. If McLovin holds it down, he gets an extra bonus raffle for being the weekly winner.
That's right.
The big winner here. So, and he would have a raffle entry like he had last month, and he actually won the prize. So anyone can win this, even if you're not in the membership. But there's only one way to get in outside of that, and that's by taking over the entire board. So the big board. So I think I updated everything here. I'm not sure, but let's also shout out those that are representing the top parts of our membership,
Yes.
the top shelf memberships, baby, starring over everything.
Thank you very much to Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Marissa Sparkle, Dwayne Broussard, The Lunatic, and Over Everything. C. Bass.
We shall see him soon, I think, here at MCF. Let's do the nightly shout-outs and get rolling with some Cowboy news, info, and updates. As, of course, yesterday there was no info or updates on our Cowboys. Tonight, a little bit more to talk about. Let's get to it, baby. Who's in the house?
That's right. Shout out to the man Scorpio. Much love. Rolando Rodriguez, all the way from South Texas. Mike Aldana, hello and hi. Choctaw, Montana 808, how are you? We have, of course, the man Stephen White. Jason Renfro, much love once more. Spoony Dog, what's up? Meatball Ron.
Meatball Ron!
Shout out to the Clown Show, keep it up.
Oh, Meatball Ron. We know, trust me, we know.
Oh, man, very frustrating. Oh, shout out to MCF After Dark. I wonder who that is.
Eyeballs watching. You might see us later.
Asmodeus, hello and hi, what's up?
Yeah.
We see representing all the way from Memphis. McLovin, showing the love. And again, someone's going to have to explain the whole spaghetti in a can.
Yeah, listen, that's just called getting ready for... He makes jokes. I say I get usually a little spaghetti before having some drinks.
Oh, okay. It was more spaghetti in a can. I'm where's the Chef
because
Boyardee?
he's saying exactly. That's what he's saying. He says I don't just make my spaghetti, which of course I do, but yes. I just break it out the can like the old school, college days or high school days, So yeah, no. I go for the real stuff, make it myself, store, get ready. And then maybe am I able? Yes, I'm usually able to handle the barrage given to me in drinks sometimes by Mr. McLovin and others on the After Darks.
Oh, sorry, just that cracked me up for a second there. Speaking of spaghetti, you have spaghetti without a meatball Ron. Gotcha, man. Hello and hi. What's up? Rolling it back a little more. Marissa Sparkle. Much love to you. Thanks for being here.
Marissa in the house.
Looks like Freedom First did manage to get in first today. Think that's everyone here so far. Of course, there's more people trickling and rolling. I'll make sure to give them their shout outs here. But baby, let's go ahead and jump into it. What's been going on with our Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, we got
and
we got NFL news. Believe it or not, it's coming quick here, and a couple actually outside of NFL news. Track and field. I know Olympics. What am I talking about? Right. Well, listen. Track and field will become the first Olympic sport to award its own prize money at the Paris 2024 Summer Olympics. That's kind of a big deal because these players never, ever got paid. Now, track and field, popular, gets a lot of advertising money, of course. Players want some of that, and I don't blame them. Gold medalists, not only win the gold medal, they also win $50,000. So, again, a little bit of an incentive in the track and field side of things.
I'm sure that's like a drop in the bucket compared to all the time, money, effort, energy spent on training.
But you know what it was last time? $0.
Oh yeah.
So they're getting something, and it's only the track and field side of things. So there's a lot of $50,000 gold medalists in all these track and field, contests there when it comes to the Olympics. So again, we talked about yesterday or 2 days ago with Calipari going from Kentucky to Arkansas with all the money they're going to have to basically give advertising money to players. It's not just, it's NFL, the money going up, but it's college basketball. You're seeing it now, track and field in the Olympics, which players get what they deserve, but then you got money. The money stuff intertwines, kind of takes the purity out of it a little bit. It is what it is, though. Speaking of, it is what it is, guys. Who thought that the UConn-Purdue men's championship game, which got a good viewing, right? 14.8 million people watched, was going to get beat out by the women's championship game, Iowa versus South Carolina. Of course, we know that's the big one. Believe it or not, the women's basketball championship game beat out by 4 million viewers the men's college basketball championship. 18.7 million watched the Iowa South Carolina, with 24 million being the top, the peak. UConn Purdue, only 14.823 million people watched it. So the women's NCAA tournament final drew 4 million more viewers than the men's final. It's amazing, and they should take advantage of this with the new players going into the WNBA. We know the number one pick is going to be Caitlin Clark, right? So the WNBA today, this kind of, I just want to go into this because we talked about it a little bit last time. I said WA got to get out of the, I know it's about identity and gender, and I get it, but I'm just saying that they got to get into marketing their sport better, not criticizing their own superstars, promoting their superstars. So what are they doing? The WNBA did something smart, I think. The Indiana Fever, which, they're the first pick. They're the worst team in WNBA. We know who they're drafting, Caitlin Clark. Indiana Fever already are going to have 36 of their 40 WNBA games featured by the WNBA's national broadcasting and streaming partners. 8 times across ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. 8 times on the ION network. Twice on CBS television network. 13 times on NBA TV. 4 times on Prime Video. And only once on once on CBS Sports Network. My point is, they got basically all but 4 of their games going to be seen in some shape, form, or fashion because of one person. That's Caitlin Clark. They took one
look at her and said, "We need a bigger stadium."
And I'm just saying, they're going to say this is the way they got to hit when the time's right. And I do believe this would be the right thing to do for them, even though this team sucked last year. People are saying, "Oh, the worst team in the league." The only reason they're getting all these games is because of Caitlin Clark. Correct. That's the smart thing to do. Caitlin Clark single-handedly, with the help of others, of course, Cardova and Angel Reese and others, but she is the star leading the way, I would say, out of this group. That basically had the women's college basketball outperform men's college basketball, and even NBA Finals broadcasts since 2017, I think, or 2019. So it's just saying, it's crazy. Right now, I was saying yesterday, women's basketball needs to hit it right. At this point, they can't worry about, necessarily women's rights, and even though that's part of it, we know it's coming. It's fine. I like it. We should have that. But to me, it's more about, hey, let's get these women on the front page so people can still get more access to seeing them, and don't let it just drift away and forget. And then next thing you know, it's just they're lost in the 8th page of the 8th page of your sports information and news you picking up. So again, they need to keep it at the front page, and that's one way of doing it, making sure she's at least as many of their star players are out in front. So we'll see how that goes. Now, I'm gonna ask here the chat, I guess, how they feel about this here, but I can't get to it right now. The wife will get to that in a minute. There is another situation going on, and it involves Rashid Rice, wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. He got into a car accident, of course, as we know, in a Lamborghini and a Corvette. He was rented both these cars out. One of them was rented out. The other one he owned. We know the situation that happened. Got in a car crash in Dallas a week ago or so, and Rashid Rice, involved in this multi-vehicle Dallas crash, who admitted also that he was driving that Lamborghini. He self-admitted that he walked away from the crash. There was nobody injured, seriously injured, but he admitted he walked away from the crash, and that has a day now. The warrant has been issued for him, an arrest warrant. So he has a day to turn himself into the police. I'll get into that a little more. Any quick comments about the women's basketball? I don't know if there was anything, baby. I know you were busy for a minute there.
For the women's basketball, No, they're actually talking specifically about the Rashid Rice thing
Okay,
right now.
perfect.
So.
Then that's perfect. Then no one really cares about the women's basketball, I guess.
Well,
even with that.
McLovin did say I have season tickets to all the Iowa
Really?
games.
I know he lives in Iowa. He's
women.
out. I know he's out there. He lives in that region.
He said he made some cash on his 3 seats. So
Hey,
good for you.
That is fucking great, brother. I wish I could go out to Iowa to see a game or something. That's
Let's
awesome.
be real. No offense.
There's nothing to see in Iowa,
I
right?
would be out in Iowa. It's probably for a sports event.
Hey, no offense to McLovin. It's probably peaceful out there. So, yes. I think that's really cool for women's basketball to kind of strike while the iron's hot. The right way. Not the woke way. Let me put it that way. The right way. You guys feel me? So anyways, I don't want to get into politics. That's for later tonight. So, arrest warrant issued officially, guys, for Chiefs wide receiver Rashid Rice in this multi-vehicle Dallas crash. He admitted to the driving the Lamborghini, right? We know that he also had rented out in his name the Corvette that crashed. He's 23 years old, right? Now he faces 8 charges in the case. 8. 6 counts of collision involving bodily injury, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury, and 1 count of aggravated assault. According to the arrest warrant, all the charges are felonies, by the way. So, major trouble for Rashid Rice. And by the way, the NFL, this is a fact. This is coming from multiple sources. NFL has been closely monitoring this development in the matter of this accident. So, expect him to be, no matter what happens, he will be suspended. It's just a matter of when.
And how bad?
Yeah. Also confirming that
the same warrants that Rashid Rice was arrested for.
Well, remember the other guy driving the other vehicle? Mm-hmm. It was rented in Rashid Rice's name, but he wasn't driving it. It was SMU cornerback Teddy Knox. The same warrant for Rashid Rice has now been issued for Teddy Knox. He's supposedly reportedly the driver of the Corvette. So the 2 drivers, of course, Rashid Rice and him, even though both cars are in his name, they're both getting in trouble.
Yeah, obviously he wasn't driving both cars at the same time.
Obviously, right. Also confirming one more thing, that the passengers in both cars that were in both their cars, their buddies, are not going to be charged, which seems the right thing to do there, even though, who knows? We can't charge them. Obviously, they weren't driving behind the wheel. They could have been saying, go faster,
But if I'm not mistaken, they could have been charged if, for example, one of them supplied them with the alcohol, if they got drunk at one of their houses. You know what I mean?
No, but there's no drunk here. There's no drinking.
Isn't he being charged for...
Nope.
True.
Nope, baby, this is the
right.
wrong
They
guy.
never got... True.
Yeah, he walked away from the accident. We don't know what the reason was. He just walked away, and then, was checked the next day. It's already over. Anything in the system probably out. So that's probably what that was about. So let's...
Okay, so there's no... there's been a lot of accidents, a lot of players recently.
A lot of issues going on. But the thing is that when it comes to this Rashid Rice situation in Dallas, no one in the cars are getting, any kind of arrest warrants except for Rashid Rice for driving the Lamborghini and for his buddy from SMU, cornerback Teddy Knox, who was a driver of the Corvette. Now, what are the possible penalties for these infractions? He has 3 of them. Yeah,
so a collision involving an injury, you could have a penalty for up to 5 years in the county jail. They can't hold you into the county jail for longer than a year. And then a fine of $5,000 or both. Up to $5,000. Let me make that clear.
That's one of the charges.
But when you have a serious bodily injury,
which another charge that he has in there. These are all 3 charges. So he has the collision involving serious bodily injury, which we know nobody was hurt like in a serious way, like life or death. But there were people taken to the hospital and checked out.
All 3 of these are felonies.
Yes,
not just misdemeanors, right?
Bodily injury,
serious bodily injury, it's considered a 3rd-degree felony. Up to, no more than 10 years or less than 2 years. So this one's one of those tricky ones where there is a minimum sentencing kind of provision here for the state of Texas.
So that's bad for him if he's found guilty.
Found guilty for that one. That means a minimum of 2 years.
Damn.
Aggravated assault is a 2nd-degree felony punishable up to 2 to 20 years in prison and a fine up to $10,000. Obviously, the fines I don't think are as big of a deal. It sounds like he will very likely be able to pay for those, but I'm assuming between his legal fees, we're
looking about 2 years possibly at the very least if he's found guilty on 2 of these. I don't know if they're concurrent or overlapping, but either way, 2 or 4 years at the very least if he's found guilty for 2 of these 3 things here.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Maybe a 5th year could be added onto this.
We'll have to see what actually ends up sticking. Crazy. I'm going to be honest and throw this out there. I don't know if he'll actually end up being charged with a felony when all is said and done.
They always overcharge,
we'll see.
So they kind of work that in a plea deal so that the state wins. That's what they usually do. They overcharge you, and then they bring it down and make a plea deal so they can keep it out the courts, and the prosecutor gets the win.
Sorry, this comment did crack me up a little bit here. Pancho Sanford said, so I guess if there's no drinking, these guys just came from a Bible study and got into a car accident.
Well, again, I don't want to say.
No, the point is that there's no official way or proof to know if they were under the influence. Right. But how many people get into an accident and run, because everything was peachy keen.
Right. Also, remember, there was reportedly, guns in the car, too, that they took out a bag of guns, something like this. But I think there was weed found around. But look, my point is that there wasn't enough proof to prove anybody was impaired. The thing is, they definitely were racing, and they were racing dangerously. And that is major.
I'm going to be the person to say it's almost worse if they were sober. Almost worse.
Worse. I know why. Because you're saying like they're sober and they still fucked up this bad. That means that they were drunk. They probably would have flipped the car and killed people. So we can at least hope that was not the case. We're glad that wasn't the case there.
Yes, what's up, Seabass? Much love to you as well.
Seabass.
So
and the over
corn
everything
is always good. Dustin Roberts, hello and hi. Jack Dong said lawsuits. Right.
I love that McLovin's still in the house with us here chilling. Appreciate you here. Listen to some Cowboy. And this is NFL news, really. So, he likes the Dolphins. We have Harley Dad who likes the Niners. Mm-hmm. A lot of people from a lot of different fan bases. But in here, it's that star over everything. Anyways, now let's talk about a Texas Longhorn rookie defensive tackle. I have a video on him from 3 months ago that I'm like, this guy is violent. He's great inside. He's exactly what the Cowboys need with or Mozzie Smith. And of course, we know last week he got involved in a DWI arrest. All right, it's a guy 3 weeks away from being drafted in the second round or third round at the latest. Got arrested for DWI, and now we know he had a crash. We know maybe he just scraped the wall. No. There was an incident. There was a vehicle crash going on here with his vehicle. But let's break it down because he was arrested, or he did the right thing, but after making the mistakes of driving under the influence. But Tandre Sweat was arrested early Sunday morning driving while intoxicated. But it involved a car accident in which the former University of Texas, former star from the same college, defensive tackle, was, not him, but again, he is another guy rear-ended him while he was in his car. The other driver in the accident was identified as current Longhorns football player. And his name is Samjay Burrell. So his own teammate. Okay, that guy. Okay, Tandre Sweat's going into the NFL this year, so he's kind of he's done with Longhorn football. But he did play alongside Samjay Burrell, who's a redshirt freshman linebacker who was driving the other vehicle and crashed into him while at least Tandre Sweat was drunk. So we know, and then again, it's a
little bit weird only because only one of them seems to have, quote unquote, gotten in trouble.
Well, here's the reason. So, according to the incident, Burrell was not arrested or charged with a crime. You guys remember when I said that there was an accident and we didn't know much about it? Well, one guy fled the scene. Yeah, this is the guy that fled the scene, his buddy. Because he was drunk. Probably drunk, I'm assuming. Tandre Sweat was also drunk. So,
But how is it that if that's the case, Sweat's the one that's getting in trouble, but
because
his buddy that ran?
Sweat stayed there. So, the occupants of the Bronco, which Sweat was driving, said that the Dodge crashed into the back of his Bronco, causing it to lose control. It went right and ended up on a service road. The Bronco rolled on its side. So, again, he was on his side for a guy who's about to get drafted. Day 2 possibly. Now, when the police arrived, Sweat admitted to being the driver of the Bronco. The Austin police officer, Stephen Creamer, observed that Sweat appeared to be intoxicated based on several factors. According to the police report, he had watery, bloodshot eyes, balance was swaying, strong odor of alcohol. While in custody, he was given a breath test, and per the affidavit, it yielded a 0.105 blood alcohol level. And this was at 6 a.m. already. This is hours after the incident.
Ouch.
The legal alcohol concentration limit in Texas is 0.08. He was at 0.105. So,
and remember, this was like after a good chunk of time has passed. So
he was really drunk.
Over the limit.
But the other guy, by running, kind of go back to Rashid Rice, by getting out of there and getting out of the scene, being, impaired, maybe not impaired. We don't know. He wasn't impaired. But why would he flee? He fled and turned himself in. Rather take the punishment that way than being drunk. And he was not charged with anything here. I don't know if there's just no proof or what it was, but the point is that it sounds like it was more Tandre Sweat, maybe pumping the brakes. He got crashed by the guy behind him. He probably should just take off, and I'll take the hit on this, and that was that. So I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on this, but Tandre Sweat, I'm going to talk about him a little bit later because it sounds like he may drop a lot farther than we think. That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, I know we made this joke before, but, don't you think that makes him a perfect candidate to become a Dallas Cowboy?
Dropping lower, a good player on the field, but has off the field issues.
Yeah, I think
that's a Jerry Jones special.
The biggest concern, and I'm almost positive you mentioned this the first time we talked about it, right? When you were like, didn't he say less than a week ago that these problems were all in the past and that everything was going to be fine?
Well, he said that he was the one that said that these were in his past to the teams he had 30 visits with. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, there you go.
So, yeah, I mean, basically this has been what he's been saying. But
Jason Renfro said in Texas, you can get sentenced for every charge that you're charged for. So, yeah, I think that's in pretty much anywhere. Like, if you're charged with multiple different charges, you can be sentenced for each one individually.
Right, but I don't know if they sometimes they put them all into one.
Yeah, how exactly that ends up breaking down is up to each individual state. But
and that's what I'm saying. Maybe he's saying that
commit multiple crimes.
Well, maybe I think as he's saying in Texas, that's what they do in Texas. I think they stack them. He'd get 5 years, Rashid Rice, at the minimum. And both these things happen in Texas, guys. The Rashid Rice's accident in Dallas, and of course Tandre Sweat's accident as well in Texas.
Texas Twister, what's up? Stay safe out there on the road.
Yes, definitely.
So, by the way, Scorpio said TMZ is reporting Patrick Mahomes was at the scene of the crash, that he told Rice to run a deep route for a pass.
Good one. Now, I do want to. I'm almost done with the almost not even NFL news. This is kind of like outside football news. But here's one that's really interesting and weird and sad at the same time. San Antonio Brahmas. Yeah, that's the UFL. Okay, the San Antonio Brahmas kicker. His name is Donald De La Haye, and he's also known on YouTube as Destroying. That's his YouTube name, Destroying, or his channel. He announced on social media today an issue that happened. Again, he's a UFL kicker. He was a YouTuber first, then became a UFL kicker for the San Antonio Brahmas. He was placed on the injured reserve list. He's a kicker. He kicked off, made a tackle, and he announced that he fractured his neck in multiple places in this game last weekend. That he snapped his neck. He made a tackle. So again, guys, season-ending injury. Hoping for the best for him. He's a YouTuber that became a kicker in the UFL, and then actually made a good tackle. I thought it was a rough tackle. He did a good for a kicker, but he tackled with his head forward. He didn't tackle with his shoulder, and that's where you snap. When he got up, you see him shaking his head a little bit, and you could tell it was probably something with his neck. Something bothered him. And now, unfortunately, that's the update on him. So, in case you didn't know, it's how to me it wasn't a helmet issue. That's how you tackle
more
issue.
Of a tackling
that's a YouTuber that probably didn't play much football in his life, and is a kicker, made a tackle on a kickoff, and didn't know how to tackle properly. But there is something in the NFL that's going to make a difference when it comes to health and safety, and that are the helmets. Now, I'm going to go into something about the helmets here in a minute. You might think it's something else you might have heard about different helmets the teams can wear. I'm talking about as logos are concerned. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, that's like the visual aspect of it.
That's actually a news as well on that, by the way, from the NFL. But I thought this was pretty important for health reasons, especially after this story we heard. 12 new helmets are going to be offered to players for this upcoming season. Not next year or the year after, for this season. 12 different type of helmets. Not about the logo. I'm talking about the way these helmets are.
Style,
yeah, the construction of these helmets. So again, 12 NFL players will have 12 helmets. 8 of them are made specifically for linemen and quarterbacks to choose from next year. And again, this is the pace of helmet innovation is increasing more and more. Manufacturers are offering more specialized helmets. So explain the details, baby.
It's actually pretty cool. So 5 of the new helmets actually that are going to be featured in this upcoming 2024 season, available for players to choose from, they actually perform better in some lab tests conducted not just by the league and the NFLPA, right? So like both of them kind of concluded and said like, hey, these helmets are actually really great. Quarterbacks will also have a choice now for between 2 different helmets made by 2 different companies, one by Riddell and then one by VCs. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And they're designed specifically to reduce impact of blows that they suffer when their heads hit the ground, which is usually what ends up causing most concussions for quarterbacks. So it's not even the actual hit itself. It's that slamming down into the ground. So I'm assuming that quarterback ones maybe have more reinforcement.
More padding back there.
On the back of the head.
To stop, like Tua had the concussions, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and position-specific helmets are a relatively new thing. We kind of saw them the first time 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In
Offensive lineman, right?
Yeah. And we all, who can forget those freaking mushroom helmets?
The caps,
now.
the mushroom caps.
Yeah, that we have to, rep during training camp and during kind of off-season stuff.
And now they do it, I think, more into the season. Yeah.
One of the interesting things about some of the helmets being released here, so 6 of the helmets performed so well in these tests that were run that players who choose to wear one of these 6 are exempt from the requirement to wear the guardian caps, those little marshmallow head things.
So these are so safe that you don't even need to wear the marshmallow hat covers in training camp. Like, they're going to make you wear if you don't have one of these type of helmets, right?
Yeah, and a lot of players, let's be real, no one really likes wearing them. A lot of them have complained that the little mushroom cap things are very uncomfortable, hot,
that's very interesting.
Difficult to kind of, really
they
get
move
your
a little
groove
more,
on.
right? Because you're going to be a little bit thrown off, but the little bit of weight difference in your helmet like that, it's still going to throw you off.
And the weight distribution as well, yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm going to say is this, though. With this announcement today, you're still going to see the mushroom caps and all that stuff, the helmet caps, the guardian caps. You're going to still see those caps, but guys, in 5 years, you won't see any. So we're seeing the beginning of the end of those mushroom caps.
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of old school helmets are going to become basically cute little nostalgia pieces for your closet because 6 helmets this year have basically been nixed by the NFL altogether. So if you're a player who wanted to wear that again, boo-hoo for you-hoo. And they also added a bunch of other helmets on their, we really, 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 really don't recommend you wear them. You technically can, but you probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
So, and then one helmet this year as well, the Zenith Orbit Pro is one of the top performing helmets. It's half a pound lighter than all the other helmets, which again, half a pound doesn't sound like a lot. When you're putting something on your head and you're talking about football, that's significant.
When you talk about speed on the field, whether it's a receiver, corner, or kickoff returner.
So, and remember, that's just in 1 year to the next. So, honestly, it sounds a little weird to say this, but helmet innovation is probably where we're going to see the most progress when it comes to maybe technology in the NFL.
You know what part you're going to see the most? The next big part that has to be to keep the helmets less heavy, the face mask. Yes. That's heavy. They're going to start keeping the same reinforcement and protection, but going to start losing some of the weight on the helmet on that. So faster, and can take more hits and be more protective to the head
and again,
and to the brain.
As we continue to develop stronger materials as well that can maybe, stronger, lighter materials, let me be specific, right? That can withstand the types of hits and blows and pressure without needing a bunch of thick plastic and heavy metal or things like that. So, look, less concussions means, I think better
seasons for our players and longer careers for the players for our teams. So even if they're not getting help from the front office.
I'm also really curious to see how position-specific helmets continue to develop because we're seeing certain positions like receivers and things like that. I don't know, say being left out of mix, but you can see where the impact for them is a little different.
Right, the issues with the receivers getting helmet injuries and having the right helmet is not as important as linemen, quarterbacks, that kind of stuff.
You can see the quarterback stuff being applied to receivers. So anyway, real quick, the Lunatic.
The Lunatic with that one too. J. Lou. Still J. Lou with that $2 holler. What did the Lunatic, the Godfather here at MCF, what did the Lunatic have to say?
Clown show front office, but always Dallas Cowboys for life.
Always and forever, no matter what. Ooh. Go Cowboys.
So let me read a few of the comments here. You guys are cracking me up once more. Pancho Sanford said, they can keep the helmets. I'll take the mushroom. So Tia Chana said, a helmet with the Dexter Coakley collar. So, and yeah, that's the other thing too. We've seen a few other kind of innovations, right? LVE, Tony Pollard, and other, backs, linebackers, and other positions.
Yeah, having that little collar. The T collar, whatever it was, but the Dexter Coakley,
that's
neck
one
brace,
that sticks up.
That's
right?
that Dexter Coakley used to fly over his helmet, like behind his helmet, kind of like LVE.
Yeah,
like you were making the mention on him.
So El Cool said, are the new helmets pink?
Hopefully not. But listen, you gotta love science, guys, because they're making these helmets lighter and stronger, more protecting to the player's head, so we don't lose Dak Prescott or Micah Parsons, some kind of head injury. And of course, it's better for the players for their careers. I also want to say, by the way, the injury that happened to that kicker from the UFL. Jack Dong actually dropping the fact that he played for UCF. I should have known that then. I didn't know he played in college. I didn't know what was his background. I just know he was a YouTuber. And he was a better YouTuber than a football player. But the thing is, he played for the UCF Knights. That's my alma mater right there. And I didn't know that, so I'm sorry. But also, he got hurt on that kickoff. The poor tackling was the bigger issue than the helmet. I just want to clear that up again one more time.
No, all good. Now, real quick, Seabass, so that's the tricky thing. So think of it less as like, oh, are the Cowboys wearing like their throwback style helmets or things like that? The point is every player can choose from like those style of helmets.
Right.
Then after that, like the teams are the ones who
put the logos and the decals on there. But actually, I got to bring that up. I don't want to. It's crazy because that story came out, I think, yesterday about the helmets. Today, a story came out that the NFL today informed all the teams that it has revised their uniform policy officially.
Okay.
And allows teams a third helmet design.
Oh, boy.
So, we had so what's going to happen is this, I believe. Cowboys are just not, instead of changing the star on the helmet, remember, guys, when we go to our Thanksgiving game, it's usually, we got the all white, icy white,
yes.
Color rush. And the helmet is also white with our current new star. I'm sorry, that's not Thanksgiving. That's usually when we go with the current, it's just saying, we use our color rush and we use that white helmet. You can go with the old school star, which what we did last year with the Thanksgiving game. That was our throwback. So we had our throwback uniform, and it goes with the white helmet with the blue star, no trim, no white trim around the star. But the Cowboys used to do is take off. Last year we took off the blue star, let's say, and put in the current star on the same white helmet. We used that against the Titans 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We used that last year a bunch of times when we had the color rush uniform with the white helmet from the Thanksgiving game, but they had to peel off the blue star and put up the brand new star. Now, what I think the Cowboys will probably do is just have those three as the helmets. You don't have to peel off the logos anymore. What new logo are the Cowboys going to come up with, the design on the helmet? Really, come on. It's always going to be the star. Old school star, new school star. Now you have two separate helmets to put. You put the old school star in a white helmet. You put the new school star in a white helmet, and of course the usual current star, the new star with the silver helmet. Those are the three helmets I think the Cowboys will have.
I think the closest to quote unquote innovation with the helmets that I can see the Cowboys doing is similar to that red, white, and blue striped one that we had for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if it's going to be a variation, it's going to be more of the NFL's having a theme, or the NFL's doing this or that. I can't really see us tweaking it as much as, let's start going back to some of our more old school ones. But before we start bringing in a new design.
The only thing I would say is this. Guys, and I don't have a picture of it, but you know what I would like to be the third helmet? Some people are saying it should be a navy blue helmet. With a silver star on it or something like that. Some people are saying it should be like that.
I'm not going to lie, it would feel weird, but it would look nice with the old school throwback jersey.
Hey, I'm just saying. Now, also, there's another thing I kind of also thought about that. Maybe,
I like that diluted.
What about that? What's the picture?
You said that old cowboy logo.
That's the
cowboy
one.
Riding a horse.
I just said, you saw me doing that, right?
Yeah, that's why I said, I had diluted.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that old one, the real throwback. That they never had on their helmets, though. Remember that. That logo was never on their helmets. But that'd be the only thing I guess you can throw on the helmet. It just wouldn't be the same as the star, though. The star is the star, and I don't think that's changing. I agree with you. The most will be a stripe for a bicentennial day or something.
I kind of like it.
I know, but also the other option would be just a navy blue helmet with a silver star. That could look real nice too, with blue trim on the star.
If you want to get cute,
I don't see the Cowboys doing that.
Find a way of incorporating the star into maybe that old school design. Right? I'm just saying, if you're talking about, what would an actually new helmet idea look like, right? Take a little bit of flavor from the past, tweak it a little bit, and I don't know, I'm just saying, there's, I feel like there is maybe more potential for innovation there than I initially thought. I'm willing to say that. So, but Seabass said navy blue helmet would be tough. Dilutic, I have to admit, I kind of like it. Skeptical fan, always staying skeptical.
Always.
Dropping those clown show emojis.
Woo! Emojis dropped, and also some love dropped from the sky from Jason Renfro, dropping a $2 holler.
Woo!
What did the man say?
So Jason said, I feel a defensive tackle is going to be drafted by the Cowboys again.
Not in the first, though. Not in the first round.
No, I think he just means overall.
Somewhere in the, you might see the Tandre Sweat being drafted in the 5th round, possibly. I'm saying it. If he's in the 5th round, I would say just draft him. Let's take the chance and draft him. Let's go.
Yeah, I think with the sad loss of LVE, it brings the linebacker right back up to a higher position of priority than even, defensive tackle. But that's just me, Jason.
We're getting some guys back, though.
You know, I'm sticking with my original
I'm still
prediction.
more defensive tackle than linebacker, but we need both. That's my point. I'd rather get a free agent defensive tackle and draft a linebacker.
I know, but I'm sticking with my original prediction: O-line, linebacker, running back.
Hey, that's the prediction. That is what it looks like by multiple sources. So you
hit
it,
first.
baby.
Anyway,
You hit it.
Brandon James, what's up? Shout out to you.
Oh.
Perfect timing there as well by Skeptical Fan.
Always
following
skeptical.
up that $2 holler by Jason, who said the Chiefs are re-signing defensive end Mike Dana.
We spoke about that last week, Brandon, when it happened. And you should go back and check out the stream. I actually went into that a little bit on how the Cowboys don't do those things on guys that like pieces that work for us. We let them go, and then we want to fill them in with rookies. And the Chiefs are doing the right thing, filling in with guys that they know can win.
But
and
thank
do
you
the job.
so much, Skeptical Fan. Always staying skeptical. Thank you.
Yes,
Holy
40
crap! I know.
months.
I was waiting for you. No, just waiting for you to finish what you're doing there. But yes, guys, can't believe it. 40 whole months. He said 40 months of cheers and beers with my Cowboys family.
Yes, brother. Appreciate it. And he's been here longer than that.
Yes, whether it's the daytime, the nighttime, early in the day, or late at night.
You never know. Exactly. The After Dark specials. Appreciate you all. And again, in about 2 months, 7 years on this beat on YouTube. Crazy
insanity.
For us. Crazy. So we're getting 7 and beyond here. I don't know about the Cowboys, though. They ain't getting to 6 yet. So.
And by the way, I agree. I don't know about an all-black uniform. China just throwing that out there. I don't think that's as much of a cowboy color. But Chris Roberts said like navy pants or something. Yeah. Basically, like,
well, then they have
we've
to change
always
the uniforms,
leaned
though.
into the lighter colors when it comes to some of these outfits. Like maybe lean the other way, do more of a navy blue, do lots of silver.
The thing is, then you have to change the uniform,
accents and things like that.
The thing is, we have to change the uniform, and the problem is, we already have our two limited. We only have I think 2 uniform changes, like 2 completely or 3, whatever it is. Like we have 1 alternate uniform and like a throwback. That's all you're allowed. So we have to make the alternate, not the color rush anymore. You'd have to make the alternate like. Something, you know what I'm saying?
Hopefully that changes in the future as far as like teams, maybe being a little more loosey-goosey with some of those rules.
Thing is, soon enough, every team will just be different uniform every single game. It's like, am I going to be able to follow my team? I mean, I'm just saying, like, we might get too crazy on that.
Yeah, but when it comes
that makes money for the owners.
I was going to say, I think the NFL is one of those things that's like, hey, look at this jersey. But don't you want it in this style? In this color?
Exactly.
And in this, that's what I'm saying. Players and fans of a team would eat that stuff up.
So let me just finish explaining this thing as we move on. This expansion for helmets was offered to the teams that were going through the redesign process for the 2024 season, and is now open to all teams for the 2025 season. So only certain teams were allowed some redesign. Whoever was doing the redesign process, this was something that's now allowed this year, I think, for them. But every team will be allowed to do a redesign or some kind of alteration next year. Not to the suit uniform, to the helmet.
Yeah.
And again, in the reality, in the long term, and the big deal of this whole thing, it's only about, to me, winning the Super Bowl. I don't give a fuck what helmets they're wearing. But, we could talk. We just talked about, kind of some things that could be options as a helmet, as a third option if the Cowboys ever go that bold. I don't think it's going to change. But my point is, most people are saying, fuck the helmets, let's win some playoff games, let's get to the Super Bowl, let's win a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? That's what the goal should be, not we got cool helmets, you know what I mean? And Jerry makes more money now. So anyways, finally on the NFL news front, there's a couple other, I didn't even get done, I got only a little bit of Cowboy news, guys. I got to catch up on the first game of the year, which is always Cowboy-centric, because remember, Eagles in Sao Paulo, Brazil, right? First game of the year. It's on a Friday, September 6th. The first game we had on a Friday in a long time to open a season, guys. And what were the few teams we were talking about? Cowboys are one of them, right? Well, guess who's the first game of the year? The Eagles will play the Green Bay Packers to open the season. So,
thank goodness.
No let down there.
Dodged that bullet.
The Eagles will play the Green Bay Packers in Sao Paulo in Brazil on Friday, September 6th, the day after the NFL season kicks off officially on Thursday night. So I thought, they initially said it was the opening game. It's not. I thought it was the opening game. The official game will open with the Chiefs, I'm assuming, at home on Thursday night. On Friday night, there'll be the international game, the Eagles versus the Packers in Brazil. So now this game is going to take place in the city of Sao Paulo at the Corinthians Arena, home to the Brazilian soccer team, sports club Corinthians or soccer club Corinthians. It will mark the first time the NFL has played a game on a Friday night of their opening weekend since September 18th, 1970, when at the time St. Louis Cardinals visited the Los Angeles Rams. Only maybe 20 years before that, the St. Louis Cardinals were the Chicago Cardinals. So, but yeah, in 1970 they were the Jose Arizona St. Louis Cardinals, and that they played the Rams. Who, Cardinals then were in the NFC East, by the way, and they played that game, on a Friday night. It was not international though. This is international. It's Packers and the Eagles. So hopefully the Eagles will take an L to open their season. That's always be nice.
I was going to say, that would be a wonderful way to kick off the 2024 season.
Yeah, I mean, that's the second game of the year, but yes, before we play, that would be what's going down. Well, that would be nice.
I mean, it still kicks off their season. It's opening, I'm just saying, it's not
it's
the
opening
season,
week.
it's their
it's
season,
the opening weekend of the season. That's that's also first time.
Kicking off the season happens like in a 5-day span there, okay? Because we have the one game, it's not kicked off until everybody gets their chance to play.
It's a Thursday, a Friday game. So it's a Thursday game, a Friday game, a Sunday game, a Monday game.
At this point, I'm just surprised they haven't announced the Saturday game. But sure.
Wait. Here's the next part.
Shit.
I'm joking.
Okay,
I got you there. So there isn't that will include one of our players though when it comes to signings being done around the league, and it involves Micah Parsons. Why do I say that? Pro Bowl linebacker Josh Allen from the Jacksonville Jaguars, who is a tagged player. Mm-hmm. He was a franchise tagged player. Reached an agreement on a 5-year deal worth $150 million. That includes $88 million of that guaranteed. That's crazy numbers for a linebacker. He's a blitzing linebacker like Micah. So This is a good comparison. One of the top guys. He had a Jaguars franchise record 17.5 sacks last year. That's more than Micah. If Josh Allen got that, though, $150 million in 5 years. What's that, 25 a year? No, a little more. That's like 30 a year. Mm-hmm. And $88 million is guaranteed. Micah's going to get $200 million in 5 years with $100 million guaranteed, easily. That's what we're looking at with Micah Parsons. Do the numbers. I expect him to be at around the $35 million range when it comes to Micah Parsons and what he does there. So we'll revisit that when time comes. I just had to bring up that Josh Allen, linebacker of Jacksonville, getting $150 million in 5 years, $88 million of that guaranteed. We got Jason Renfro guaranteeing a $1, $2, $3 holler. Brandon Cooks cooking 3 on it to go back to 100 points in the Stream Boss. Jason Renfro clawing his way. Remember, Gloria gave some love the other day, so she pulled a little bit away of Jason Renfro, but he's clawing his way slowly but surely back. What do you have to say, baby, with that $3 Cooks holler?
Ooh, thank you. He said, I feel like linebacker Jalen Ford from Texas will be drafted by the Cowboys.
Maybe. I know Jason loves Texas players, Longhorn players, but I know that Copper is the top guy, one of the guys on their list. That's one of the top guys on their list. And they also have a couple other guys that I think we discussed on their 30-day visit, and I can put it up on the screen. But I would say more Edgerrin Copper from Texas A&M is a guy they're really looking at. Peyton Wilson from North Carolina State, a guy they really like. I think they also like Junior Colson from Michigan. That's more of a third-round kind of guy if you're going linebacker there. When it comes to a lot later in the draft, 5th, 6th, 7th round, I think you got guys like Nathaniel Watson from Mississippi State. You got linebacker Trevin Wallace. They love Trevin Wallace in the 6th round. Don't be surprised if he gets picked up. I'd be surprised if he's not picked up by the Cowboys by then. Trevin Wallace, linebacker from Kentucky. By the way, I've heard a lot of great things about him. His coverage is great. One of the best coverage guys in the league. So keep that in mind. Jordan McGee from Temple, another linebacker, 7th rounder, undrafted type of guy. Choice Roberts, who's not one of the guys I'm talking about. He's the guy that got gifted a membership because they got the Man Staying Skeptical now officially. Woo. Not just 2 weeks in a row back to back, but on the board for this week. I think he's back, 3 on Jason Renfro. Jason got 2 safeties and got skeptical with the old school 1-point play. And it's 4-1 on the gifting side. Much love to Skeptical Fan Gifting membership there to Choice Roberts.
Thank you so much, of course. And yes, shout out to Skeptical Fan once more. So
now, always staying skeptical.
Now, with that little kind of comparison there, as far as like, hey, this is what we could possibly be looking at for a Micah Parsons deal or something. James Hurst said trade Parsons for some high picks.
So a lot of people are saying that that's maybe the better option. I'm not going to say it is because I mean, but I do think that there's maybe something in when do you trade him? How much do you use of Micah? How much do you get out of Micah before you trade him? You know, at that Zeke breaking point. Because that's what's going to happen. In my mind, in his 5th, 6th, 7th year, he's not going to be anything what he was now. So you don't want to pay him a lot so he can play in his 10th year like a crippled man. So, I'm sorry, go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I forgot mine.
It was about Micah playing and trading him. You were talking about trading him.
No, I know.
Some people were saying taking the 2nd overall pick from Washington and maybe a couple more picks, like next year's first and another couple seconds or whatever. Would you trade?
Oh, I remember what it was. Yeah. Basically, we're kind of in a weird spot with Micah because I think the Cowboys are going to be seeking too high of a trade value for him if they did. Right? They're going to look to
depends on desperate. You know what's one thing. But you know what's one thing bigger than that is them trying to save the money to pay Micah. That's the one thing they'll eat their stubbornness. They'll say we'll eat this round draft pick. We got him off our hands. That's what scares me more than them trying to go for too much. And maybe it's them going for too little. That's what I think. That scares me.
Fair
this
point.
Front office knows that I'll fuck shit up.
Consider.
I didn't consider your point. That's why we talk about it. That's
what Andre Rodriguez said. MCF Catboy has to sign CD before Jefferson gets paid, and they can sign him for $30 million now.
Yeah, but CD doesn't want to get paid now yet. Though
later it's gonna be more like $35 or $40 million. Yep. The Cowboys always wait too long.
And I think CD also is waiting on this particular situation because both Jefferson and CD are waiting, but Jefferson's getting talked about being traded. That's part of the negotiations. They're trying to say they're going to trade him. That delays trade talk, talks on the money and to pressure him to try to sign now for Jefferson. As soon as he signs, then CD's going to sign the next day. Maybe the next week CD will be signed. But they're waiting each other out as well as the Joneses trying to negotiate some kind of good deal. A good deal would be just pay him. They should have paid him last year a little bit over, and it would have been about $3 million less than they would have paid already this year. So they should have paid him last year. That's a smart move.
But hey, I think it was Scorpio and I chatting pre-stream about the Cowboys' current kind of cap situation they find themselves in. And I said it then. I'm like, oh no, a 1,000% preventable problem that absolutely everyone foresaw possibly coming, and here it is.
Here it is, smack dab in our face.
So
no surprise.
And again,
but
remember,
this
is a monster we created.
Yes.
And I don't mean we as in like Mr. MCF and I, or like all of us here collectively.
The fans, or even the players.
We as mainly in the Cowboys, as in our front office, but we are fans of the Cowboys.
You mean the clown show?
We are a collective.
It's tough. It is tough. Look, going back, I'm finishing the Micah thing here real quick. Because I didn't want to spend too much time on it. It's just an example of what he's going to cost. A lot of money. A lot of money for him. It's going to be $200 million for 5 years. What does that come out to? $200 million 5 years. I mean, like 35. I'm trying. I can't do the math right now, but it's going to be $30-something million, and you're going to have at least half of that guaranteed. So, do you trade him? Do you get a third round comp pick for him and let him play out? It's got to be the dumbest thing you can do. So, Cowboys got to get smart. Whatever they're going to do in this, I mean, it sounds like anything can happen after we're kind of letting this year kind of be a rebuild. So, not sure. I did want to go back to something real quick though. I want to reiterate the fact that Josh Allen was a franchise tag player, and right now, there's only, I think, 2 more remaining franchise tag players in the NFL right now.
Okay.
Antoine Winfield Jr. and T. Higgins. Those are the last 2 remaining players to be franchised this offseason and still not landing a long-term deal. So they're the only 2 teams playing on the tag, right? The only 2 players playing on the tag for their teams. T. Higgins says, I want to trade. I want to get out of here. When it comes to Antoine Winfield, they've been working towards a new deal that's going to make him the highest paid safety, and there is a lot of optimism in Tampa that's going to get done. The highest paid safety right now is the Chargers' Derwin James. He's getting $19 million a year, so you'll probably see Antoine Winfield with like $19.5 or $20 million a year. When they get that deal done, that's a placeholder. Sounds like the only guy that's going to stuck on this list playing on this year on the tag is T. Higgins or traded, which always brings up the Cowboy name. Because we know there's a lot of people saying, well, let's get T. Higgins in here. I talked about that earlier. If there's issues going on there, and then send him over to Dallas. Yep. But he wants a major deal. That's why he's leaving Cincinnati. So we're going to look at over $20 million for T. Higgins? Bullshit. That's not happening. So we got our own issues. We got to sign CeeDee Lamb. and he wants over 20 million, 25 million. So
like I said, we
big
are.
trouble.
I'm not trying to like just wave away, the big contracts that we have right around the corner, right? But again, this is a mess of our own making.
Yeah. Now, another guy I want to mention, the free agent for the Cowboys, played with the Cowboys last year, is right there. Stefan Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about this a week and a half ago or so. Cowboys already. Stephen Jones is like, we're done with them. We're not gonna. We're good with our cornerbacks. We'd love to sign him, probably for like $3 million, but Gilmore don't want to play for $3 million, but he wants to stay in Dallas, and so it kind of seems that it's not going to happen. A lot of word about Carolina being interested.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Carolina signed Jadeveon Clowney, and the next day in his like press conference, introduction to Carolina, he said, "I'm trying to get my boy Stefan Gilmore here to Carolina." So we got reports of him visiting Carolina. There's interest from both sides. Jadeveon Clowney, the new guy they just signed, he wants him there. So why is he not signed yet? So there's some optimism he may be coming back to Dallas.
Okay.
A little surprising that Stefan Gilmore is still a free agent. Maybe teams are not, are not really going to pay him his asking price. We don't know. Maybe he's waiting for the right opportunity on his side. But Gilmore has been linked with the return to the Panthers, as I said already. And again, you got to remember, Jadeveon Clowney is his former high school and college teammate. So he's been playing like 8 years of his life with Jadeveon Clowney, more or less. And so he really wants him to come to the Carolina Panthers. They're buddies playing on defense together. But it seems like the Panthers made a decision to choose one or the other, Gilmore or Clowney. And as of right now, guys, Carolina has only $4.9 million on the salary cap. Now, again, they can make a move here and there and restructure, probably make moves and make room for Gilmore. They don't want to do that right now, it seems like.
Which, again, I guess is their right.
But they made a million other moves. We made no moves, and we still staying at like 11 million and not doing anything.
Yeah.
So Panthers have about $5 million left on the cap, but Gilmore is going to probably cost more than $5 million, or else the Cowboys would be in the discussion. But Gilmore's going to cost them $5 million. Again, they're going to probably have to move about $8 million open to be able to try to at least sign, not him, $8 million for their. They have a lot of draft picks. So they have a lot of draft class. They have about $8 million going to go to the draft to the rookies. Okay, so they got 4.9 right now, and then another 8 they're going to owe. So they're kind of under like $5 million right now, under like $4 million, $3 million. So does that mean it's no chance for Gilmore to go to Carolina? No, he can still return to the Panthers, but it's not as sure of a thing it was 10 days ago or last week. Mm-hmm. So there is a prime opportunity for the Cowboys if they still want to try to negotiate with Gilmore to go in there and kind of steal him, as a lot of us already abandoned any chance of him coming back. The reason I'm saying this, I'm not saying he's the best player ever, or we need it, but my point is that for a veteran cornerback at this stage of free agency, we need an outside cornerback. And right now, our cornerbacks, Trayvon Diggs and DaRon Bland on the outside is good, but we could be better with DaRon Bland as a nickel slot cornerback, which right now is Jordan Lewis, and does a good job there. But my only issue is this: Jordan Lewis, fractured foot, injury possibilities. Trayvon Diggs coming off the ACL surgery, injury possibilities. Who's next if one of these guys go down? Nashawn Wright. How do you guys feel about Nashawn Wright? So we need to get a veteran guy in here. You can draft a guy. You're still gonna be unsure about a guy you draft. Mm-hmm. Yeah, third rounder,
Remember,
fourth rounder, fifth rounder.
Drafted him.
Right.
He hasn't proven anything yet.
So you're getting a guy that's going to be your step up guy here from the as our fourth corner. I'd rather have Jordan Lewis be the step up guy. He's getting paid like $1 million, $1.3 million on our cap. And so he's getting, I think, 2.3 overall money in his pocket, but he's getting like 2.5, like $1.5 million in his, on the cap. So to me, that's a backup. That's not a starting slot. That's starting nickel. So you got to get DaRon Bland back in the nickel, in that nickel cornerback spot. Have Jordan Lewis behind him. If anybody gets hurt on the outside, you move DaRon Bland to the outside. If DaRon Bland gets hurt, you move Jordan Lewis in that spot. It's a win-win, but you need an outside corner, and it can't be a rookie unless you draft them first round. And it can't be a freaking, any other guy out there. Are they trustworthy enough that's remaining? Gilmore is, but we got to get him down low enough for him to meet the Joneses numbers, So I do not count on Stefan Gilmore coming back. I know you kind of made your 2 cents. What does the chat say?
Well, the Lunatic actually brings up a great point. He said Jaylee was signed because he was cheap. Gilly will sign elsewhere because other teams will pay him more. So even if it doesn't necessarily work out with Carolina, there's still going to be another team that is going to pay him more than whatever it is that we would have paid.
Right. But, Jordan Lewis, before the injury, easily a top 10 nickel cornerback. That's a very important position to have. That gets paid more than $2 million. You know what I'm saying? That position, especially with the numbers going up, the unknown of his injury, of like could it come back again sooner or not, is probably why he had to settle for a veteran salary benefit deal. Much love to the great Mary Alvarez, part of that star level membership for 14 months of domination. Much love.
Thank you so much
to the
Mary.
Ladies in the house repping that star of everything. What did Mary have to say?
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's doing great, and God bless you all. Go Cowboys, always.
Go Cowboys. You know it. Thank
you so much, Mary. I appreciate you. Hope you and yours are doing well.
Yes, for sure.
Hanging in during this off season.
It is an off season. It's a dark off season right now for us. So we're happy for everybody hanging with us and discussing these things. And again, we're not doing it as often because literally the Cowboys are not even caring about being in the news, which is good in a lot of ways, and also bad. We're not making any moves. So. So we'll talk now. We're not gonna bullshit you guys about this and that. We're gonna talk the real deal news. And right now, Stefan Gilmore, door maybe is opening back up? Question mark. I don't know. I do not. My expectations is the clown show. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones will not pay him even $4 million to stay here, and he ain't gonna be less than $4 million. He's gonna be signed with somebody for $4 million or over that. So I don't count on him being here. Now look, on our cover, you're seeing the main news story here on our thumbnail. When it comes to quarterbacks. Now, rookie quarterbacks, we're going to talk about in a minute, but we got our own kind of, what I would call Trey Lance, our rookie quarterback in a way. Trey Lance. Why do I say that? Because there's news coming out, guys, in this quarterback backup battle, Trey Lance and Cooper Rush. Trey Lance could command a lot of second team and even some first team snaps during training camp. Now, not to take over Dak, but just to give him to play with the starters to see how he will look when he's with the best. The Cowboys are looking at Trey Lance, trying to see what he can do. Also, I think they're trying to show him off a little bit, maybe just trade bait for other teams. So the Cowboys are almost forced. We're paying like $5 million. We're paying more on him than Cooper Rush. So we've got to see what Trey Lance can do this year. And the Cowboys are forced to give Trey Lance opportunities this offseason and training camp. And trust me, in preseason, he's going to get a heavy workload. You guys that love Trey Lance, whether you hate Dak or not, you love Trey Lance, you're going to see a lot of Trey Lance this offseason, this preseason. So if the Cowboys are serious about moving on from Dak Prescott after this season, in 2020, they got to really at least give some kind of look to Trey Lance in this preseason.
Yeah, do your actual due diligence.
So even if he's the backup, even if he's our third stringer, I still think he's going to get a lot of first string like snaps. Not a lot, some first string snaps, a lot of second string snaps over Cooper Rush, because we know Cooper Rush, what he can do already, right? So to me, they have to force Trey Lance with a lot of second team reps, and some first team reps as well. So, in that sense, guys, the situation has sort of forced itself, and it's not a surprise, because, again, who's the one left out in the cold a little bit? Cooper Rush. They know what he can do. They know he's solid. He's cheap enough. The Cowboys have to give Trey Lance opportunities, see what they got in him. Again, with all this being said, why are the Cowboys going to keep Cooper Rush anyways? Why would we even think about keeping him?
Yeah.
There is no guaranteed money left on his deal. So, carrying 3 quarterbacks is only needed if you really need all 3 of them. If Trey Lance is kind of forced to be the number 2 quarterback, Cooper Rush would be cut. Maybe brought back to the practice squad if he's not taken. And he could be our quarterback practice squad guy.
Yeah.
But Trey Lance has to show that he's able to do that. And guys, you're going to see a lot of Trey Lance. You're going to talk about Dak, of course. But when you see like the preseason games, when you see some of the reps that are going on in training camp with the first team, you're going to see Dak maybe step out for a drive or something.
Yeah.
And you'll see a little more Trey Lance. You're going to see a lot more of the backups than you have in the past, especially in preseason. even though we haven't seen much of Dak in preseason games, right, at all. But you're going to see probably Trey Lance have a lot more snaps than, let's say, Cooper Rush throughout preseason and training camp.
That Trey Lance. He said Mr. 8 career games playing in the NFL.
Yes.
That's Trey Lance?
Yeah, I'm not advocating for him to start, but the Cowboys have to. We're paying $5 million on him, and next year he's our only quarterback on our team. It's going to be $18 million. So the Cowboys will probably cut him, and then at worst re-sign him for like $7 million or something like that, right? But the Cowboys got to know what we got with him this year as a backup, because Cooper Rush is left hanging in the wind. His contract has there's no cap hit for him being cut.
Yeah.
So we can cut him and get like $2.5 million back. But we can only do that if Trey Lance is suitable enough as a backup. And that's a big question mark. So we'll see what happens. But the point of this whole thing here is a backup battle is underway for this camp between Trey and last year was it was Will Grier, right? And Cooper Rush. There's no future there. There's no future there. But with Trey Lance, there's a draft pick given up. There's a young guy. He's younger than some of the rookies coming out this year in the draft at quarterback. So Trey Lance, it's more of a, we got to test our high rookie draft pick. That's the way I look at this. So again, that's what I'm seeing coming up when it comes to the Trey Lance. I have to mention it because so people understand what's coming up. It's not that Trey Lance getting more snaps because he's going to take over for Dak Prescott. He's getting more snaps because we have to know what we got before we either release Cooper Rush or make Trey Lance our number 2, our backup. So that's why. Any quick things on specifically that Trey Lance, Cooper Rush?
Let me see. Deluncic said at least Trey Lance was running quarterback drills in a spring quarterback camp at Frisco.
Yeah, I mean, listen, last year he didn't have a chance to go through this time, so this year he will.
Yeah. So, and of course, you have to imagine that similar to most rookies, quote unquote, right? Like after, I'm just saying, like their second year, things start to like click a little easier and things go a little smoother. So, maybe Trey Lance will look a little better. Not so much because it's like his second year, but it's more he's had one full year with us. Our program, at least that side of things, is still consistent and stable. So it's not like he's undergoing any kind of quarterback room changes, really. So
no, everything's going to be more stable and a better spot for him this year.
Yeah. I
expect to see him take a step forward, especially if they give him up a fucking 4th-round pick, which to me, people are saying, let's draft another quarterback. You could draft a 7th-round quarterback. Who gives a fuck? Our quarterback we drafted, his name is Trey Lance, and he was a quarterback in the 4th round. That's the way I'm looking at Trey Lance. So that's it. That's the way I see it, and I don't see anything else. And he's not taking over for Dak this year.
No.
He's not going to any of those things. He's just trying to stay ahead of Cooper Rush, and right now he's still behind him.
Yeah, if he takes over for Dak, we got a man down.
We're in ultimate
that's
rebuild.
What I'm saying. We got a man down.
Well, yeah, if he's playing, that means someone got injured. But I also think that if next year he's our starting quarterback, I don't care how good he looked in preseason, unless he has to play in the regular season and then he does well, it's going to be a bad year next year. If Trey Lance is our starting quarterback in 2025, you guys are going to really know what a bad quarterback is going to be like when we had Dak Prescott sitting back there. But hey, maybe we get a coach. Here's the only thing I'm going to say. You get a coach that uses the quarterback right, and you can do better. You can win, even with an average quarterback. But that'd be Trey Lance, average quarterback. Got to get the right coach. And I don't know who that coach is going to be. Now, I do want to go and continue talking about quarterback position. Well, we're done with the backup spot. Let's finish up this stream here with a little draft stuff at the end.
Okay.
But first, the draft stuff has to do with quarterback. Believe it or not, baby. People are saying draft the quarterback. We don't have a 4th-round pick because we have Trey Lance. But people want to draft the quarterback because they want to have a quarterback in place for Dak Prescott.
Yep, in case of emergency, break glass.
But there's some people out there that, not just the Dak haters on our own team, but there's just haters in general like Cam Newton. Takes a shot at Dak Prescott and Jerry Jones, which I can't blame him for taking a shot at Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
But he took a shot at Dak and Jerry Jones today. And again, he was on Shannon Sharp's podcast called Club Shay Shay. And we've heard him do some of his stuff there. But again, he's a former Shannon Sharp, former Denver Bronco player. But he's always loving to give shit to the Cowboys. He always gives shit. And of course, Cowboys are always a good discussion piece. So, he was talking and asking Cam Newton, about the Dallas Cowboys, the issues around the Cowboys, particularly, Dak Prescott and his contract extension. And Cam Newton went all out. He did not hold back. What did he have to say, baby?
This message is to Dak Prescott. We are looking for that motherfucking dog. And I don't think Jerry Jones will allow him to become that, because you've got to be politically correct. You've got to be almost the president of football, almost, to be the signal caller for the Dallas Cowboys. What Dallas Cowboys need at that quarterback position is somebody to say, fuck that. This is my shit. This is what we're going to do. I hear all that, but we try to win. We try to win. Yes or no. Okay, cool. Now unleash me and let me win this football game. It's that type of aura, and I don't think Dak can be that. You see what I'm saying? So those are going to be very combative forces that I don't know if they can get to that next level.
Now, let me just quickly mention something. Even though Cam Newton's a schmuck, and I'm not saying that he's even right, like he's not necessarily wrong about these things, because I think this is something that we have talked about here, baby, about the fact that Dak does not take over the team. He doesn't say he does it in his politically correct Dak way, which is one of the things I've criticized about Dak. One of the few things that I will give to the Dak haters, but they don't, even the Dak haters don't see this. They just see a throw that was low. Mm-hmm. They don't see the fact that, to me, he's never been the guy that says, let's take this over. Like, he can take it over when he's allowed to. He needs to take it over when he wants to. And he does not do that enough.
But basically, I agree with the fundamental statement in the sense of, like, Dak is never going to be that guy that just...
But he's blaming it on Jerry Jones, and that's where I see it being like, Like, he's saying Jerry Jones won't let him be. I think this is the way Dak is. I think it's one of those things where it's a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. Now, Dak obviously naturally is not going to necessarily push back or fight back too much on those types of things just because of, like you said, his personality, right? So, but I also do think that, again, the Cowboys have a vested interest in this as well going their way. So... both things can be true at the same time, right? Yeah, I mean, good points.
So, and by the way, shout out to you, Seabass Love, Cameron, hello. Dilutic said, Cam, clickbait, Newton. But have you noticed that the last 2-3 times that Cam Newton has gone viral, he was either saying something about our Cowboys or fighting?
Listen, Seabass said, I don't think Cam Newton said anything wrong to Dak. And I'm kind of like, I said, I didn't even see his comment.
I agree. Like,
I think he's right about that.
It wasn't that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he meant that as, like, even necessarily a personal attack on Dak like that. It was more of, like, a pure observation, right?
Yeah.
That he's talking about Dak's play style, right? We're not talking about, like, the quarterback, specific or stats or things like that. We're talking about the style.
But here's the thing, though. It's more than that, too, because I agree. He's talking about, I think that when you have the style of Dak Prescott, that's not going to change.
Yeah,
but
Dak is as much as he's a leader on the field, he's also a follower of the rules.
Yeah, he stays within the confines of what he's comfortable with instead of trying to go and take the extra step. And I think I knew this about Dak already. We've been talking about this for years about Dak. He's never really changed. That's the way Dak is. But I want to make a comment here. Back to the criticism of Jerry Jones. I disagree that Jerry Jones is holding Dak back from being a dog and taking over the game. But I do believe that Jerry Jones is holding down Dak and this offense and this team with the decisions he makes in the offseason not to get rid of talent and not replace it.
True.
That is how he's hurting.
Puts more strain on everyone else.
Yeah, and
right?
Dak
has to carry just a little more.
Dak has to take over the game. He's not Mahomes. He's not Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think that we've ever said he was. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I know some people out there did say he is, and I disagree with those Dak lovers, over love. So my point is, we gotta get realistic. We know what kind of quarterback Dak is. You got to give him some pieces in there that maybe can. If you had Des Bryant, type character that clicked with Dak, that would be your hype up guy in the. I know as Tech said, we need like a villain so this team can kind of, come together.
Yeah,
more so.
Like they need somebody to be able to, like you said, rally against to be able to say that's the boogeyman.
Yeah. So, but the Cowboys ain't doing it.
Yeah,
Jerry
China
Jones
also, reminding us all, saying, "Hey, remember Romo? Garrett would call this play, and then forget.
Correct.
That. Here's what we're doing."
And that's what I'm saying. It wasn't even. I don't think it was Garrett even. That
yeah,
it was Garrett.
It was Linehan.
Yeah. So that's my thing.
But still, the Garrett was running the ship.
The point is, that's 100, and we've said that a million times, right, baby? Like Romo was there before Linehan, before Garrett. So it was still like Romo always felt it was his. And Romo went out there and took it. Now, Romo may not, look, there's things Dak is better than Romo. There's things Romo is better than Dak in. And this is one of the things that Dak is a better teammate. But Romo was, as far as teammate and getting your guys on the same page and gathering but Romo was like on his own, like a gunslinger, kind of saves the day for the team, but it's kind of like his own guy by himself. And that's just the difference between the guys. But one of those things is that Romo just took over the game on his own, didn't give a fuck what was being done or said. And Dak is always within the confines of his coach and the rules and the guidelines, and that's where I think he falls short the most for Dak Prescott. So again, we're not going to go into this anymore. But again, for those that always say I'm always on Dak's side about everything, that's a complete lie. I criticize Dak, but he is not the main reason for our woes. This guy on your screen is the bigger reason, along with his son Stephen Jones. When you look at Dak Prescott, baby, we'll bring Dak back up here. You know why? Because it's not over. Dak Prescott has the lowest interception percentage in the 21st century, this entire century. You have to have at least a minimum of 100 games played. Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't have the lowest interception percentage. Aaron Rodgers has the lowest interception percentage in this century, 1.4% of the time interceptions.
Okay.
Tom Brady was number 2. Tom Brady's number 2 at 1.8 time he threw an interception. Russell Wilson number 3, tied with Dak Prescott at number 3 with 1.9% of the time interceptions were thrown. So other than that one bad year from Dak, he don't throw interceptions, and he's one of the best. He's tied for the third best to do it in the 21st century. Yes, other than Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, and then you got Dak Prescott tied with Russell Wilson. So there's some greatness still in Dak. It's just the way you have to get the right system. A quarterback like Dak, you got to get the right people around him, the right coaches, the right system. And that could be done if you had a better GM. You could be easy to be found. Some people say that's too hard to find for Dak. Bullshit. You got to get the right GM that actually is in tune with the team, not just does what you want to do with your money, which is Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones just does whatever he wants with his money, and they give you the bullshit, the pie. Not enough pie. We know that's a lie. Jason Renfro never bringing lies, just facts with that dollar holler.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you. Go Cowboys.
Oh, baby, that's not the right way. It's our Cowboys. You know it, no matter what. Even if they're trying to fuck us over.
I can't imitate that pizzazz you give it.
If the front office is trying to fuck us over, we still have the love for that star over everything.
Yeah, nothing our front office does is going to change our fandom for our love for this team. Correct. But our voices will certainly probably ring out even louder as we complain about said front office if they do some dumb stuff like that.
And as the front office continues their dumbery, their tomfoolery, their fuckery, we got to bring up these two guys again. Why with Dak? Here's the thing. So this is really the main part of it's really a short little statement that was made by Adam Scheffler today. But if you look at our title, what's the main topic? Are we drafting? We talk about a quarterback, right? Maybe drafting a quarterback in the 7th round. Are we drafting a quarterback with Dak in his contract year? Is this plan B for the Cowboys? Why am I talking about this? Adam Scheffler said on Tuesday's episode of NFL Live that he thinks, and he has sources to back this up, he thinks that the Dallas Cowboys could be a sleeper team to draft a quarterback. And this is based on the fact that Dak Prescott is currently set to enter the final year of his contract. So the fact that we're going on this contract, we really don't have any quarterback with Trey Lance, which I believe is our draft pick.
Yeah.
But that's the way, that's our situation. He's saying that one of these quarterbacks you see in this picture here, these are the top quarterbacks. And these guys most of these guys are going to go early. But if one of these guys trickle down into that back end of the first round, or hey, there's some people saying Adam Scheffler being one of them. The Cowboys are a sleeper team to pick a quarterback. Now, if we go in the first round, that's a Dak replacement, without question.
I mean, yeah.
That's it. We know what's happening. So, even second round, that's like a Dak replacement because, you can talk about Jordan Love and, he was in the second round. Aaron Rodgers knew the end was near. So, you got Trey Lance sitting there. So, not sure how you guys feel about this, but Adam Scheffler said on Tuesday that he thinks the Cowboys could be a sleeper team to draft a quarterback based on the fact that the Cowboys have Dak on his final year of his contract. And I also look at it another way, though. Mm-hmm. Before I let you give me your opinion?
Yeah.
I want to kind of ask you a question because I'm looking at this another way. Trade back. Why am I saying trade back? Cowboys maybe right now wanting to release a little bit of this. We're a sleeper team for a quarterback. Why? Because the Cowboys may be hoping there's a quarterback needy team maybe in the top of the second round that knows the quarterback will not get to them in the top of the second round, and they'd be willing to trade with the Cowboys. Maybe Bo Nix or Michael Penix is on the board there at 24. So if one of those guys are on the board at 24, and there's a team, let's say the 33rd, 44th, 35th team, they want that quarterback. They don't want it. They know these quarterbacks will not be there. If one of those guys are there, they will maybe try to trade up with the Cowboys at 24 if there's a quarterback still available. So it's not for the Cowboys to pick a quarterback necessarily in the first. Obviously, they do that. We know what's going on with Dak. But this is more about saying, hey, look, we might take a quarterback here. Does anybody want to do a trade? Because someone's going to take a quarterback here. If there's quarterbacks at 24.
Especially if they want a quarterback that
team that
somehow
needs a
managed
quarterback
to fall all the way there. Yeah,
right,
that might actually be a surprise hot commodity at that
That's
point.
my 2 cents. Look, these Joneses, they're too stupid to do that. I think that I'm thinking that way. That's a possibility in my mind. The Joneses, they're probably thinking about, who's that running back from the Eagles again? That was with the Lions? You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even know Tandre Swift, as in Stephen Jones. So, what do you think about this, baby, when it comes to the Dak Prescott on his last year of his contract? Are we going, Adam Schefter, a sleeper team to draft a quarterback in the first round?
I have heard some very silly things so far throughout this offseason. This one made me laugh because if you hear the actual statement itself, Adam Schefter is 100% right? Like, the Cowboys could very likely draft a quarterback. Okay.
Dak's on his last year.
We've got, like, how many draft picks? Quarterbacks can fall or go in all of the rounds. So, no, I'm just trying to say that it seems a little bit ridiculous for people to start putting a lot of assumptions here when the most likely scenario, like, what do you think, a 6th-round quarterback is going to beat out Dak Prescott? You know what I mean? Like, whatever quarterback we get is going to be a day 3 pick, in my personal opinion. So... And I don't necessarily mean a 4th-round pick.
And I think I don't think you're getting it in the sense like the way this was said is that the Cowboys are a sleeper pick for a top quarterback.
Okay,
we're not talking about 6th round here.
So it was more of a then. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think that's bullshit. I'm just saying. Like, I still think the rumors are bullshit.
Well, it's Adam Schefter. Usually, it's something that comes with that. You always say, baby, there's smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire. What do you think the Cowboys? You think the Cowboys are looking to move on from that? Because the Cowboys have brought in 0.0 of their 30 visits have been a quarterback. 0. So,
and it's not to say that has stopped us before, because there have been times where we've drafted guys, but there's no way, again, would the Cowboys decide to completely invest in a brand new quarterback without even bringing him into the building, having him sit down for a cup of coffee and talking to him face to face and saying hi? I find that, again, very hard to believe.
Well, what's the chat saying? I'm interested, too, with what they got to say.
So, the Lunatic said, Baby Nut Steve has fucked up so many things. Drafting a quarterback early this year would not surprise me.
And that's the thing. That's what scares me, is that there's... Most times you'd say that, whatever, we know it's bull... On the contract here, is this part of negotiations? Are we willing to lose a first-round pick for Dak's negotiation? If we do that, we're not signing Dak. Dak's done. That's it. It's over.
And thank you, Brumbar. Much love. Let me see. Rolando Rodriguez said, ESPN is clickbait, MCF. Trey Lance was picked number 3 in the first round. Gave up a 4th-round pick. So which pick is better? Give Lance a chance, basically.
No, and I'm 100% in agreement with you. That's why. Listen, it's more what has come out of this, like from people kind of discussing it and talking and freaking out. And I want to make sure we bring a little calm to the storm. 100% agree with what he said at ESPN. I know it's Adam Schefter, and he has a reputation he has to keep. But they throw out a lot of bullshit throughout the offseason. So, yeah, this is just, I agree. It's probably just bullshit. You said it too. But I also say that the bigger picture, this is Jerry Jones and the way he negotiates. This is Stephen Jones and the way they negotiate, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So... kind of rolling back here. That China said, "Can't we just draft Jerry's grandson, John Stephen Jones?"
I think
that ship has sailed, unfortunately.
I don't know. He's a
but
third
I
stringer in
definitely had
Arkansas,
that idea a while ago.
Yeah, that should never happen.
So James Hurst said, "Nah, Dallas needs to wait for Arch Manning." Again, still no guarantee that we get him or land at the spot we want him for without having to trade a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, to go up and get him. Yeah, but the way the Cowboys seem they're playing to get a higher draft pick the next couple of years. That's what it seems like for us. I don't know.
So and yeah, DeLunatic saying after the July 1st, I think even June 1st, we're getting Michael Gallup's $9 million.
Yeah, after June 1st.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's for just think about that being used not for players. That's the rookies and the money we bring into the season. We're gonna need about what $5 or $6 million for the rookies, and the rest is used to bring into the 2024 season. So that money is already used. We still have $11 million we can use right now, and the Cowboys have not even touched it. We haven't restructured contracts. We haven't made any extensions, which would give us 30, 40, 50 more $million. Now it's almost like why even bother at this point? It feels like why bother? Now when you look at this is how we're going to finish this with the top 30. I keep saying top 30, the 30 visit list. All right, and this you're seeing 26 out of the 30 people here. Sorry, if there are any other comments, go ahead real quick.
No, I think let me I guess really quickly check them here. Not sure about the medicals there on JPP there. DeLunatic. Seabass said there's people in the NFL whose job is literally only to find dirt on other people when it comes to time for contract negotiations. So just think about that.
Yeah, we got a guy like Stephen Jones who doesn't know how to do this job, and his buddy who also doesn't know how to do this job, who's an equipment manager. These are the guys that are running our cap.
So, of course, perfectly qualified candidates and individuals, right? So, Billy Murphy said, I'm just prepping for a bad season. Look at our schedule.
It's going to be tough. With the team we have right now, nothing to do with Dak or Micah. With the team we have right now, we have a lot of holes to fill.
Yeah, I wasn't preparing for it to be as rough as it has been so far. Seemingly so.
The roughest offseason for sure. Look, and we've had some rough ones.
Putting a lot of hopes on this fucking draft to somehow turn this ship around.
Yeah, well.
So are the Cowboys, I guess.
Let me go through, because again, I got the full list of the 30 visit guys. Okay. The full list. Now this is 20. You're seeing your screen on the right are the rounds they would fall in more or less by CBS Sports. And I've already went through this with you guys. I'm not going to read it, but I'm going to read the whole entire list in case there's some that, fell off. Now, this is kind of the order they would go in, so just keep it in mind, like from the best to the worst. Offensive tackle, Talis Fuaga, which is, these are guys that we're interested in, 1,000%, guys. He's the highest of this. He's a top 10 pick. Byron Murphy, also a top 20 pick, top 15 pick, in my opinion. Defensive tackle from Texas. Then we brought in offensive tackle Troy Fatuanu from Washington, and then center Jackson Powers Johnson. Sounds like his medicals are good, but here's the thing though, he has dropped. I'll talk about that in a little bit. He has dropped on a lot of boards, on overall boards throughout the NFL. So we don't know if that's a trend or what's going on. From Oregon, we have also Graham Barton from Duke, who's right after him. These are all the guys the Cowboys brought in their 30 visits. And we always grab guys, 2 or 3 guys from these lists. So we had Graham Barton. I love him, interior lineman, center guard from Duke. And then I say, you got Darius Robinson from Missouri. This is probably the end of the first round at this point. You go to the second round, you got offensive tackle Kingsley Samuatiaya from BYU. I know I fucked up his name. You got linebackers, Edgerrin Copper from Texas A&M, and Peyton Wilson, linebacker from North Carolina State. Then you got tight end, more of a second or third round kind of guy, Jatavian Sanders, but we're not going to go for tight ends, are we, in the third round? Texas. Another linebacker in the third round we can go at, Junior Colston from Michigan. Running back in the third round, Trey Benson from Florida, which is my number one running back over Jonathan Brooks, who we also brought in. Both these guys are about third rounders. If we go any earlier than that, I think it's done for the Cowboys. That's just me. But, yeah, some people put... Jonathan Brooks over Trey Benson. I'm the other way around because of Jonathan Brooks' torn ACL. You got wide receiver Malachi Corley, who's kind of a second, third round type of guy, more second, kind of trending. Running back Braylon Allen, we saw him. He's a big guy working next to Derrick Henry from Wisconsin. He's more of a third round guy. Fourth round guy, if we get a fourth rounder by trading around, whatever, Bucky Irvin from Oregon, running back. And then you go into the day 3, really full day 3 guys here, 5th round and beyond. Matt Conclavis from Pittsburgh, linebacker. That's an offensive tackle, by the way. Linebacker Trevin Wallace from Kentucky, who I believe the Cowboys are going to pick up in the 5th round of this draft. Running back Tyrone Tracy from Purdue. Linebacker Jordan McGee from Temple. Running back Rasheen Ali from Marshall. Could be a 7th rounder or undrafted, possibly. I think he'll be a 6th or 7th rounder, but we'll see. Jace McClellan from Alabama, running back. We got linebacker Nathaniel Watson from Mississippi State, running back Imani Bailey from TCU, and then we finish up with 2 offensive tackles that could be undrafted. Travis Glover from Georgia State and Giovanni Manu from University of British Columbia, which is that big Tongan guy that is like 6'7" or 6'9", 350-something pounds, and is fast and can jump and is athletic and is crazy good. So again, but he is very, very unpolished. So has a lot of penalties when he plays on the tackle spot. So
a lot of raw potential.
Yeah, but that's more of a late, I'd say that's a 7th round flyer or an undrafted possibility. So right now, according to Brian Brodus, guys, and you just heard the list of all 30-day of these 30-day visit rookies. Brian Brodus said today, quote, the Cowboys team are organizing their draft board around the Cowboys. Teams in the NFL are organizing their draft boards with the assumption that the Cowboys are going to select a center in the first round. And that means...
Interesting direction to take the O-line.
Say that again, I'm sorry, what was that? No, I didn't understand what you're saying.
Nothing, continue.
No, I don't know. You're surprised we're going to go O-line in the first round?
I said interesting direction to take the O-line as far as picking a center.
Oh, you mean which part of the O-line? Yeah. Well, I mean,
the O-line itself is not surprising. Just surprised that they have us at center. That was it.
Well, I mean, the reasoning is because it makes complete and total sense.
Okay.
I mean, you look at the tackles, the top tackles in this draft. There's going to be 5 of them, and they're all going to be gone before pick 20.
All right.
Now you go to the next tier. Do you go for the second tier of tackles? Or do you go for the top center? And so that's the way I think the Cowboys look at it, and other teams are too, and I agree. But not everyone agrees. Look, I think that the Cowboys are going to go, listen, Jackson, Powers, Johnson, JPJ, and to me, Graham Barton, both these guys are, one of these guys are the first round pick for the Cowboys. Whether we trade back, which I think is even bigger chance now, we can trade back and get one of these 2 guys with the 31st pick, with the 34th pick. We can still get one of these 2 centers, probably.
Yeah.
So the point here is, Mel Kiper don't think we're going to go this route. Mel Kiper did a mock draft. We talk about some mocks. Well, Mel Kiper released a 2-round mock draft this morning. And he had the Cowboys making, I would say, interesting picks. I would not be happy with this. Pick number 24 in the first round, offensive tackle from Oklahoma, Tyler Guyton, who, by the way, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know. I've talked a little bit about him. He's dropping in all of the rankings. He's dropping in all of the measurables. He's dropping in all of the analysts' top picks. Unfortunately for him, Tyler Guyton did not have a good pro day or a good combine day. So it's not.
That's rough.
Why would the Cowboys go? It's rough. The Cowboys would draft him at 24. That would be a disastrous pick in my mind at this point. So you do not want Tyler Guyton at 20. Mel Kiper says that's what I'm trying to say. I think
we need another Tyler on the team.
That's a good point. We lost a Tyler, so why not bring a Tyler in? But he would not be center. He would be a tackle, and that's the thing I'm trying to say. Tyler Guyton would be a second-round guy. You know, he would be a second-round guy, but that's the drop-off from those first 5 tackles. Once you get to our 6th, 7th, and 8th tackle, you get Tyler Guyton. And Mel Kiper just figured Cowboys would go for him because we don't have Tyler Smith. Easy pick. But I would look at center as being, trading back and trying to get that center. So to me, I'd rather get a center than a top center than the 6th or 7th offensive tackle. You know what I mean? With that first pick. Then the second pick in the 56th pick in the second round, he has us taking Jonathan Brooks, running back from Texas. With the 56th pick in the second round, a running back with a torn ACL.
Very Cowboys.
Very Cowboys, I would say, would be waiting to the third round for Jonathan Brooks. This would be just completely this would be even beyond the Cowboys' dumbest moves. Because to me, you're going for a running back who is literally injured and won't be ready till in training camp.
Yeah,
a rookie.
We've already established we need all these draft picks to really hit because we're counting on them.
Yeah,
so
do not waste a pick on a running back.
Would you waste not just any pick, one of the few
right.
high value picks that you have on a guy that's not even a step foot on the field for a while.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at about like in training camp sometimes. As a rookie, getting into a new system in the NFL, you don't want yourself being behind. You know what I mean?
Being very hopeful because the last time we had a guy who had a similar type injury, like remember that things kind of wasn't it Michael? I think it was Michael Gallup. He was expected to come back way sooner, and it kind of kept being, I don't want to say delayed, but it kind of kept getting pushed off and pushed off and pushed off.
You know about the ACL?
Yeah, didn't he?
He
was supposed to be back much sooner.
Well, Stephen Jones saying he'll be back first game, and then it ended up being like the third game, which is still too soon.
I'm just trying to say, like, they're saying training camp. I'm just saying, like, that still feel like I'm just saying, like, let's see what our doctor, if he's actually able to be.
Remember, our doctor did the deal, did the surgery on his leg, on his knee. So if anybody knows, I agree. No, I'm just saying that the Cowboys would know better than not. I guess everybody would know the medicals, but our doctor actually did the procedure. So look, the point is. 2 dumb picks, in my opinion. Again, this is Mel Kiper taking his. He's going to give you another one in another week, and it's going to have different players. But my point, this would be not a good draft. Yeah, Tyler Guyton. I see somebody saying, I think was it Tyrone Church, saying give him the Manyweather and let him work on him. True, but is that what you want?
The lunatic.
Much love, the lunatic. But do you want your first round pick already needing that kind of help immediately? I know we had that luck with Tyler Smith, but do you want to roll the dice again with the 7th or 8th? Offensive tackle? Or would you rather go with the interior solidifying that center position? A center guard versatile. Both JPJ and Graham Barton can go back and forth at guard or center. So to me, that is the pick. And I think we're going to move Tyler Smith to tackle, and TJ Bass will be the left guard right now as our starter. So I just think it's a bad move by Mel Kiper. But, here's the thing that's crazy. Let me just give you a feel for what's going on. He had Jackson Powers Johnson, center. Mm-hmm. As the 47th pick in the draft. That's extremely low. But hey, you know what? If we trade back, well, there's a real good chance if this is the way it would go, we can easily pick him up, drop him back a bunch, and getting another second-round pick, or at least easily a third-round pick, definitely a second-round pick possibly. So the concern, that's why some people are saying about the medicals, is average ranking has been falling by about 5 spots over the last month. That mean that he's doing bad? Or I mean maybe other guys are going up. Maybe he's going, I'm saying? He's staying where he's at. So I don't think it's a negative against JPJ. I just think he's, maybe other guys are showing off a little more flashier and they're going to jump him right now. I don't mind if it's that way. But either way, there's also the other question at defensive tackle. The defensive side, right? And the name we've talked about here at MCF, which of course is being talked about now, is Tandre Sweat, right? With that DUI crash he had. It's worth noting that Dane Brugler, which does his own like breakdown. He's kind of like the godfather of breaking down the draft and rookies. He said that Texas defensive tackle Tandre Sweat was graded by him as a 4th round player. And the words that he used to describe him were, quote, party animal and class clown. That is Tandre Sweat, is what Dane Brugler had. And the point about that is that this is all before the accident that occurred. This is not after the accident he said these things. Yeah. He had reported this already like much earlier, like a month ago, 2 months ago. And this is the way he felt about Tandre Sweat. So when we thought he might be, some people were saying 2nd or 3rd rounder. Most of the top analysts are saying more of a 4th rounder. Okay. And now you add in there this issue.
The shenanigans.
You're going 5th rounder here. 6th rounder possibly. A guy who could have been a 2nd rounder talent. That is now an official Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones move. And I say, wait to the 5th. If he's there in the 5th, we got a 5th rounder, a 6th rounder, and 2 7th. If he's there in the 5th round, you roll the dice with him. Unless there's someone there that you really, really wanted and you rate better, then I guess you take that guy over Tandre Sweat. Yeah. But there's a chance Tandre Sweat, who was ranked by a lot in the 4th round, that can drop into the 5th round or beyond that. The Cowboys could then be in the mix there. Also, if we trade back and we happen to fall into a 4th round pick, another option opens up there. So, unfortunately, you know what's going to probably happen? Here's the Cowboys thing of all, baby. Cowboys will trade up in the 2nd. After they draft Jonathan Brooks, they'll trade up to get Tandre Sweat in the 2nd round. So we'll grab Jonathan Brooks in the 2nd round with the torn ACL, and then we'll go and trade up and get Tandre Sweat.
That's stupid.
That'd be a nightmare.
Like, and again, I kind of said this earlier because in a response, I think, to the Man the Lunatic here. In a situation where, again, we can't really afford to trade up in basically any of these scenarios.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
I was thinking like, more of a joke, but I guess that'd be a Cowboy thing to do, to trade up for Tandre Sweat.
Oh, it absolutely would. I'm just...
Yeah, I know. You made it. The points are...
It's a little frustrating, baby. You ask my opinion, and then you're like...
I know, I interrupted. Sorry. You're right. I want to make sure we stay on track. But yes, you are 100% right, and you've always kind of said that. So, I agree.
Seabass said, T-Sweat, responding there. It's unfortunate, but that's beneficial to the Cowboys if he is there.
Yeah, again, if the Cowboys want to take a chance on a class clown, an irresponsible party animal. Saying that's what his description.
Dilutic said, I already bet we're taking Brooks in the second. At 20 years, less than 250 career carries, I can roll with that again. But basically that is a good long-term investment in a guy who has very little, tread on his tires.
I agree, but when you have that, it's one little turn, and down he goes again. How much more explosiveness will he lose, Jonathan Brooks, every time he keeps hurting himself?
Yeah, and John Syme, glad to have you here, and sorry to hear that, but hopefully you're feeling a little better now. Let me see. Hold on, Rodriguez said, MCF, your chat might be a little too young to remember. After Troy, the Cowboys didn't have a quarterback until Romo.
I agree. They don't understand. They'll find out what it feels like to have no quarterback if we move on from Dak.
He's basically saying, we need to sign Dak.
And in the end, I think this is all just posturing from the front office, a way to kind of make Dak Prescott maybe squirm a little bit. Who knows? Finally, I'm actually let me put this back up because there is the finale. The last thing I wanted to touch on was running back. 2 seconds, guys. Let's talk about explosiveness. When you have torn ACL, Jonathan Brooks is not going to be as explosive as he was. When you look at some of the PFF rankings of explosive rushing plays by running backs in this draft, against stacked boxes, which means the defense is you got to look at that. If a guy is getting a lot of yardage, but he's not playing against stacked boxes, how much do you put into that? How much weight do you put into this guy can is going to be able to be good in the NFL? When you have a guy that can get some yards and do well and still do that against stacked 8-man boxes inside the box, inside that linebacker area and the defensive line, you have a total of 8 guys. That's a lot harder to run on. So which are the best running backs when it comes to this? And according to these numbers, guys, the guy who really the guy who's faced the most 8-man fronts and kind of stacked boxes is the guy one of our guys, Braylon Allen, that we have on our list. But he only has maybe 13% explosive plays. That's it. You got a guy he gets stacked boxes about half the time. But about 45% of the time, you have Estime, all right, who is one of the guys we talked about yesterday or the last day we were live. The Cowboys did not look at him. He's from Notre Dame. And Estime faces by far the most, one of the most stacked, second most stacked boxes, but he has the third most explosive running plays, meaning he gets those 15-yard carries, those 30 and more. So he's facing a lot of stacked boxes and explosive. The Cowboys not have him on this list. At least not on this list. They maybe added him on, but he's not on this list right now, guys, as far as a prime target for the Cowboys. Other guys on here on the list that the Cowboys do have. Trey Benson. He's basically facing a stacked box about the average point of amount of times, but he also gets about a little over the explosive play mark, about 17% explosive runs he has. So Trey Benson's probably the best guy on our list in this explosiveness versus stacked boxes kind of comparison. Braylon Allen he's one of the guys on our list, faces a lot of stacked boxes and it limits his explosiveness. So Jonathan Brooks, you want to know where he's at here when it comes to, he's similar to Trey Benson, but he sees about the same amount of stacked boxes. His explosive runs are about 14%. Trey Benson, 17%. So Trey Benson has more explosive, sees more about the same or a little more stacked boxes, but it has 3% more explosive plays. Trey Benson, and now you're gonna have Jonathan Brooks coming off the injury. That explosiveness is gonna go down.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I say Trey Benson is my pick at running back. Braylon Allen, again, one of our big guys, but he's also gonna be he's like Zeke in a way. Stacked box is gonna slow you down a little bit, right? Bucky Irvin is more of a 4th round guy from Oregon. Bucky Irvin, I'm trying to see where he's at here. He's a guy that faces not too many stacked boxes. And he has a little bit more explosiveness, let's say, in Trey Benson. So that's an option if the Cowboys wanted to go with a speedier guy, a guy who could have like bigger plays and doesn't demand a stacked front, a stacked box on defense. Tyrone Tracy is one guy who has faced about the same amount of stacked boxes as Bucky Irvin, but he is the most explosive run guy in the league from Purdue, who's on our list. You can see him right there. I think he's in the, where is he there? 6th round? I can't tell. Hold on. There he is. 7th round. Right there, Tyrone Tracy. He could be easily a value pick in the 7th round. But he don't face too many stacked boxes. When he does, how will he do? I don't know. Now, more on the undrafted side, Rashid Ali from Marshall got a lot of steam in the Cowboy, side of things. He's a guy that's also on this list, and doesn't face. He faces about 25% stacked boxes, and has about the same kind of explosiveness as Jonathan Brooks. So, Brooks a little better than him when you look at the numbers, but you're talking about you're taking a guy in the 2nd or 3rd round with a torn ACL and Jonathan Brooks, or someone like Ali who could be a 7th rounder undrafted. For the slight drop-off, you go at Ali. That's my point at running back. You don't have to go high draft here, guys, at running back. Jace McClellan from Alabama. He's also more like he gets less stacked boxes and he's a little less explosive than Trey Benson. So, between the two guys, you go with Trey Benson in the 3rd round or you go with Jace McClellan in the 6th. That's a question. Cowboys probably want to go with the running back earlier, but that's where you got to measure. Do you want to use that pick in the 3rd or 2nd round? Or you want to use it in the 6th or 7th round on running backs that have similar kind of frequencies here.
The thing that really gets me here is that the Cowboys, I understand why they would want to go for a higher round, higher value running back, right? But I want to say we don't need that, just that there are a lot of pretty solid quality running backs in this draft. So
there's no number one.
You don't necessarily have to lock yourself into investing that type of capital on the earlier side of the draft. That's all I'm trying to say.
Last year
you can afford to wait a tiny bit.
Do you remember last year running backs? Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
And then who was the guy that went to the what was his? We went to the Lions, didn't he? What was his name? He was we wanted him. Oh man.
I almost said Aiden, what's his face, but it's not.
No, man. Somebody in the chat's gonna know it. So make sure.
Okay, as soon as I see it,
but the point is that the other running back, he went in these both running backs went in the top 15 picks. What I'm trying to make a point here is
Swift.
No, not it was not DeAndre. No, DeAndre Swift is no.
All right, that's right. That was the first name I saw.
No, it was. Oh man,
the statement has been retracted.
My point is like a top 20, right? 2 running backs. There's no running backs close
Gibbs.
to. Yes, there's Jahmyr Gibbs.
Thank you, PPC record.
Yes, so listen, those 2 guys compared to the top 2 guys now, Trey Benson and Jonathan Brooks, there's no comparison. That's why you take Bijan Robinson, or and you take these guys early. You take a Jahmyr Gibbs early in the 1st round. But after that, you're not going to take Jonathan Brooks in the 1st round. You're not going to take Trey Benson in the 1st round, even if he was healthy. When it comes to Jonathan Brooks, you wait the 2nd round at the earliest if he was healthy. Most of these running backs are 2nd or 3rd round guys, and then it gets deep. Then you got a lot of depth in the 4th and 5th rounds, and they're all about the same quality. So you guys understand there were some superstar running backs last year. You don't have to. There's none this year. They are 0.0 blatant 1st round pick running backs. There's none. So that's why you don't have to, so to me, the depth starts in the 2nd or 3rd round is where the best running backs start, and that's where the best, and it's deep when it comes to that side of things. When it comes to, let's say, from the 3rd round to the 6th round, you got some damn good running backs you can grab. So now you want a superstar running back, there is none in this draft. So that's the way this kind of falls to me. Another guy was Imani Bailey, not even on this list, from TCU. These are the guys, the Cowboys have these guys on their 30-visit list. One of these guys will probably be a Cowboy running back. Trey Benson, Florida State. Jonathan Brooks from Texas. Braylon Allen from Wisconsin. Bucky Irvin from Oregon. Tyrone Tracy from Purdue. Rashid Ali from Marshall. Jace McClellan from Alabama. And Imani Bailey from TCU. And let me just say this. One of them might be drafted. You can bet your ass that one of these other ones may end up as an undrafted free agent for the Cowboys. So that's it. Any comments about the running backs real quick, and then we're going to close it out for the night.
Seabass said, I really hope Benson is there. I don't want Brooks, like, at all.
Agree. Benson, third round target, I hope. If he's a third round running back, I'll take it. I'll breathe a sigh of relief, even if I'd rather have a fifth round running back. Trey Benson is the guy. If we're going to take an early guy in the third, let it be Trey Benson, not Jonathan Brooks.
Oh, so kind of rolling back here. Lunatic said, to see what running backs we have a combine meet with and a 30 visit, that should give us some good idea of what we're looking
I just read all three.
So there you go.
All 7 running backs, and they're all from different rounds, from the basically the second or third round to the undrafteds. We're going to get probably 2 of those names. One drafted and one undrafted. Watch.
Mm-hmm. So, let me see. John Syme saying, Jerry Jones was talking about his own head and ass when he said all in. Clearly.
We got that. We figured that out like a couple days after.
Steve said, we're all in. The Bahamas on Jerry's yacht. Leave a message after the tone.
Beep. Exactly.
Oh.
Look, the Lunatic said, Cowboys undrafted classes have been good last few years, 100%. But that's what we're living and dying off of. The leftovers that we got to kind of hope that they can produce, and half of them don't. But that's where Will McClay is the superstar. And I've been saying that for years. Him and I always forget, what's his name? Chris Hall.
Yes.
Him and Chris Hall, Will McClay and Chris Hall are the masterminds of the undrafted guys, and we always bring in some top quality guys. Doesn't mean they should be starters. Right now, we have Brock Hoffman, undrafted rookie last year, and TJ Bass, undrafted rookie, as our starters on our offensive line for Dak Prescott, with Rico Dowdle as our starting running back. Just think about these things and say, hey, McCarthy, do something with this. Dak, do something with this. As of right now, we ain't doing shit with this. Being honest.
We did
so
something already.
we're not going to live
necessarily what they wanted.
If we're going to rely on undrafteds, we're going to, you say live or die, we're going to die with undrafteds. We could get lucky in a couple, and we're going to die off with this many holes, and we're hoping undrafteds can fill it in for a full season and playoffs. What are we talking about? It's fucking not going to happen. It's a dream. Sucks.
So, Billy Murphy said, I'm more worried about the O-line and passing game.
There you go. And also, and the running game, because we're not going to have, and the scheme is going to even work. Is Dak going to have time? I mean, is Dak going to have a run game? A lot of questions to be answered. And no answers yet. Basically, a month and a half into free agency? It's embarrassing. So anyways, guys, on that note, I guess not, about a month into free agency. On that note, it is time to wrap it up here.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm going to give extra special shout out to those that dropped the love from above tonight. Jason Renfro rocking the board. Some takeovers and some first place spots. Right now, leading on the on the gifting board, membership board. Much love to him and his gifted membership. Puts him still in first place. As he's also, you can see Jason Renfro, also the stream boss with 100 points fully. Mother effing loaded right there for Mr. Jason Renfro. So much love to him. Then you also got Mr. Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical, who is the champion, the king of the gifting membership board for the last 2 weeks. Will he go third week? He did drop a gifted membership tonight, so much love to him as he's on the board there. Also, big shout-outs to the Lunatic and Brandon JS with their Jordan Lewis drops. Yes, the $2 hollers, and everybody else in the house who's dropping in here for this and leaving your comments. Drop some knowledge in the chat. And those that dropped the love from above on the After Dark sessions, like Sco971, McLovin, Big D, Daniel Berry, Gloria and MCM. Much love to everybody in the house watching, hitting that like, subscribe, and notification bell. And again, as I was shouting out Jason Renfro, the board there when it comes to the gifting board, let me not forget to shout out the current sponsor of the week, and that's Cash App King, Harley Dad.
Ooh, thank you so much, Harley Dad. Appreciate you, of course, for your representation here.
Even if he is a Niner fan, much love. And he gives the love in that After Dark session. But right now, baby, the man leading the league, our week right now, this is our double week hitter in the offseason. McLovin continues his lead, not just as the Cash App leader, but the overall leader, trying to basically take like 6 out of the last 8 weeks down on either board, the Cash App or the sponsor of the week. So much love to the man McLovin, as he still is rocking that top spot. A couple days to go before we crown him champion possibly here. We shall see what happens on that front, baby. I've done my part. Time to do the shout-outs in the chat so we can wrap this up tonight.
That's right. So, of course, let me go ahead and start, doing some of the shout-outs here in the chat. Starting off with the man, the Lunatic, who decided to drop some love and show some love as we wrap things up here with a $2 J2 holler. Thank you so much, the Lunatic.
J2 holler. Okay, J. Lou holler. Yes,
oh, J. Lou, J2. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a $2 J. Lou holler from the man, the Lunatic, the Godfather.
It's like J. Lou 2 got jumbled together in my head there. But thank you so much, the Lunatic. He said, with his $2 holler, front office incompetence on full display this offseason.
Unfortunately. We thought we improved a little bit last year, right? When they made some trades, Brandon Cooks, Gilmore. Now we're like
we should have
Went
realized that we were
backwards.
using like 3 years worth of free agent picks and moves
Yeah.
and such.
Yeah, that's
in
like
one
that's like a
offseason.
decade of moves for the Cowboys last year. Don't expect anything to like 2032 or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. So let me keep rolling with the shout outs here. Thank you again to Lunatic. Billy Murphy, glad you made it tonight. Have a great one.
Yep.
We have Jason Renfro, of course,
You know
and
it.
yes, definitely missed the Fred Beard. Oh, cool. Take it easy. Much love.
Yep.
C. Bass in the house. Have a great night. We have PPC Records. Thank you again for that help. Let me see.
I'll have to update the Houston Texans logo in there one of these days for those in the membership.
Oh, that'll be funny. Billy Murphy, take it easy. Have a great night. John Syme. Rolling back here to Rolando Rodriguez. Chalked on my 10808. Much love. Asmodeus, of course, as well. PPC Records. Have a great night. The man himself, Jason Renfro.
Oh.
McLovin showing
there
the
it
love.
is.
And there's that $2 holler by the Lunatic.
Yes, there it is. It went through the J. Lou $2 holler. Thank you, the Lunatic.
Ooh.
And you said McLovin in the house,
Yes.
of course. Yes, always.
me
Much
see,
love to McLovin.
Yeah, China. Burn Bar, much love. We
Yeah.
have Brandon J. C. Bass. Let me see, Mike Aldana. That's as far back as it lets me go, at least on my side. So
We got to wrap it up then, guys. Thank you for stopping in as we close it out. Don't forget, jump on the After Dark session if you want to have a little fun on that side of things. Things always get a little bit crazy over there. Hopefully tonight's more of a chill stream. Every time I say that, though, it never happens. It never happens. So if you follow the eyeballs, you might find, a little, if you guys are up later on another coast or another part of the country, you can hang with me and my insomnia and the panel of crazy people that we get on our channel sometimes over there on the After Dark session. Guys, it's a wrap here on My Cowboys Family main channel. And to let them know why we try to do this, as often as we can. We said every single day we used to. But man, the Cowboys are providing us no news or information. So baby, why do we do this each and every night here on MCF?
it's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here, we rep that star over everything. And here on My Cowboys Family, almost 7 years and beyond on YouTube. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond.
Woo.
7, 8. You see my shirt. You know what I'm talking about. So thank you all for repping it and rocking it here with us on My Cowboys Family and dropping your knowledge in the chat all night long. Cannot do this without your love and support with your thoughts about our team, and also can't do it without your love and support with the drops of love from above, whether in the membership, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats, thanks button, gifted memberships just jumping in. We truly humbled by the best fans of all YouTube. Thank you guys. Thank you to everybody who drops the love here and on the After Dark session.
Mm-hmm.
And as we get ready to clock out and drop out officially for the night, much love to Juan Carlos, Luis Ortiz, and the rest of the crew. Appreciate you all. But as we drop out and clock out for the night and relock and reload for another show, who knows when here. That's why you got to hit that, you got to hit that notification bell to all videos.
Yeah.
But if there's news tomorrow like it was today a little bit, we'll definitely go live. If not, we'll see you guys in a couple of days. All right? We'll probably take it every other day kind of thing right now with the way the Cowboys are doing nothing in the world of football. So we'll see you guys soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not. We'll see. Either way, appreciate you all being here with us. And baby, before we can drop out of here for the night, tell everybody what we got to do before we drop out of here for this evening.
We gotta drop the beat.
Yeah, beat's been dropped. It's a wrap here on My Cowboys Family. Follow those eyeballs for the After Dark session. By the way, Jason Renfro ain't done. Yeah, he said I'm dropping another $1, $2, $3 holler. He's closing in on Gloria in third place on the overall board. He's got the stream boss. He's got the first place lead as the gifting side of things. Mr. Jason Renfro making moves. That $3 holler, he said, huge, big, yeah, Cowboys. You know it, brother. And thank you all for chilling here with us, watching tonight here on this channel. Guys, We wrapped up today's news, info, and updates all here in 90 minutes. And hey, congrats to West Texas Cowboy, Dallas Cowboy for life. A member. Why is that, baby?
Oh, sorry.
Because Jason Renfro dropped a gifted membership, yo.
Thank you, Jason, and not just a gifted membership, but a $3 Go Cowboys dropped too.
Yep, I did that one as well. So we got them all caught up. Thank you, Jason. Much love and appreciate it. And go Cowboys. Yeah, I'm going to have to play this song a little faster. We wrapped up a whole night of news, info, and updates right here on another MCF Cowboys chat. Big shout out to Jason Renfro. 5 gifted memberships here. You see what we talked about. It's all right in front of you. Here in MCF, it's about that navy blue. That silver too. That star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing here on My Cowboys Family. You guys, the family, the fans, much love. Can't do this without you all. So remember to hit that like button for the stream. Subscribe to the channel and keep it growing. Hit that notification bell too, and put it to all videos, and follow us at all social media, X, Twitter, at MyCowboysFamily. We got Discord as well. Information in the description down below. Thank you all. Stay safe. Much love. See you all back here soon. Peace, and never ever forget, Go Cowboy!